Okay, I'll open up the meeting for Monday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, 2019.
April Fool's, y'all get to go home.
Select board meeting. Review agenda additions, removal, or adjustments of any items.
I would like to suggest the addition of the annual financial plan that we need to submit to VTrans under item 5.3, which is related to the VTrans grant application proposal.
So you mean 3.5?
5.3 point whatever.
Point one.
Sure.
3.1.
And you
And
probably.
what is the title?
VTrans annual financial plan.
You probably ought to change the
okay.
the destination of the paving there to Whitcomb.
Yeah, well, she did on the update, it's Pine Tree Gardens. So.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah, I caught that. Good. Good. That'd be a long
V-Trans.
way.
That's it, that'll be trans. Just the feet. Okay, I'll put that down.
And that'll be this item here.
Financial plan. Okay. Okay, anything else?
That'll do
That's
it.
it. Okay, public forum, opportunity for citizens to briefly share comments with the board or concerns. We're up to 5 minutes for each topic. Anything out there? Seeing none. Visitors appointment, 7 p.m. Core area sewer application to increase allocations for Mike and Susan Keith at 20 Main Street. I believe these are the Keiths. Do you know them? Come right up. It's in your packet.
What is the correct spelling of your name?
Last name?
Oh, K-E-I.
K-E, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can't read them?
Oh, you're right. That is incorrect.
It's not
K-I-E.
Oh, I thought you
K-E-I?
I
Yeah.
thought you put my signature.
Yeah, just like the first name.
Yeah.
And there's the,
Now, this was Recycle Reading's old building, right?
No, it's next
No.
door.
no.
What's
Oh, it is?
recycling?
Okay,
Old
all right.
Recycle's old building.
Okay, correct.
Right.
Gotcha.
On the north side.
Previously movies.
Oh, we got
And presently it has 455 gallons a day. No,
Correct.
is that correct, Valerie?
I believe so.
That is,
Yes.
For one, Alan's thing says 320.
Say that again?
Alan's note said 320. I mean, if we're billing for 450, that's
No, it
what.
said allocation for 20th Street, it's 302 gallons per day per the table in the ordinance.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, that's not.
that's not
Yeah.
what the allocation is.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, you read it. And you picked up on that.
Do we know how much this is gonna be, or how much left do we
We have
have?
700 and something gallons.
Right.
Total after this? Or-
No,
No.
200 and,
It'll leave us
That's
300.
before. Yes, it'll leave us 300 and something. It's in here.
This is a change of use then.
208 it would leave us.
Yeah.
Where's the,
Did somebody not
Here it
get
is,
one,
right
because I
here.
got two? I'm easily confused. That- Just out of curiosity, do you have any idea, I mean, we never come close to these numbers, that's why we have extra to give.
Yeah.
Any idea of what you're gonna use for water?
I
I don't think that much, to be
I
honest.
would say,
There's no way you're gonna use
educate,
it.
I would say half of that, realistically.
about what was allocated, what's been allocated to the building? It'd be interesting to pull the records and see what the beauty shop just 2 doors up, it's gonna be closing,
Right,
uses. It would give us a great idea.
right.
I mean,
But
it
that
might be a
depends on
little,
how many
How
chairs
many
you have and how
right,
many
yep.
stylists you
But
have.
been there a long time, so we can at least get an
Right.
idea.
Without
guessing.
She's only got one chair in there, or she have two?
She used to have 2.
Two.
And you'll have 4, you said?
Yeah,
Correct.
and that's where this number gets derived
Right.
from, we're asking for, that's how the state
Okay.
The roads-
Calculates it.
does it.
Yeah.
So it's not that we would actually use that much,
No,
but
no,
we're
we-
required to get that
Yeah.
much.
In order to be
In order,
compliance.
exactly, exactly.
So here, this is always my question. What happens if everybody uses all the allocations they're supposed to be using in a year?
Then we have 208 gallons left.
No, they recalculate this every year.
This is based on that 208 gallons is based on actual
Actual.
use.
Right.
If everybody used, we've got a couple that use 400 or 500 gallons a month and they're allocated thousands, so. I mean, it's a shell game. I don't think anybody ever will. And if they do, I don't know what state we live.
And I did meet with Susan about the ordinance and traps to catch any kind of hair and solvents and whatever else. So not a grease trap, but something similar.
Of course, they're setting this up new, so that would be the other time now to
Right.
yeah, comply. Okay.
Does this require a grease trap?
It's somewheres along those lines. It's called, I believe, a P trap or
Sediment trap.
Is that what it is, Nick?
From the plumber?
It's specifically for, I think this type of application. with hair.
Grease trap is always for kitchens.
Right.
Gotcha.
I move we allow the increased allocation.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion, a second, to allow the allocation increase. Any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Nice.
Thanks, guys.
Congratulations.
Good luck to you.
This is kind
What's
of
that deal? Thank you.
455 to 950.
yeah.
And then who seconded that?
Okay.
Wow, that helps.
And that'll be the easiest part of what you have to do for this.
My week was
fun
kind of held
starts.
up until this, so this is
Right.
so good. Thanks.
So when do you open?
My goal is May 1st.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's,
Get cracking.
yeah. Hopefully, if everything goes well. There's lots of little steps in place and, boy, being in business for the first time, you can see, it was like, man, you can see why some people, consider Vermont an unfriendly place. It's just like, boy, there's so many departments and
Permits.
But we're headed in the right direction. This helps a lot. This,
Yeah, thank you, guys.
we're sensitive to the water issue here in town. We've heard a lot about it.
Well, we got a lot of water.
I'm sorry.
I just don't have a lot of septic.
Right. So, yeah. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good luck.
I hope the rest goes as easy as this.
Okay.
Todd and his partner were here earlier.
Why don't we jump down to 3.1 consent agenda.
Oh, okay, great.
I'll wait
Perfect.
for 7:10.
Yeah.
It's almost there. Use of technology reserve fund for purchase of new computer for the treasurer's office
That was something.
for the quote.
Okay, 4.1.
Okay, so,
Yeah, 4.1, not 3.1, sorry, Ted.
So the
I'm just
idea-
jumping down here until 7:10.
yeah, but the consent agenda is all 5 of those things,
Yeah,
correct?
correct, unless somebody wants to take
Right.
any one of them off for discussion, otherwise, if everybody's okay with everything, then just one motion to approve them all.
Can we ask questions? I mean,
Sure.
ask questions. Okay. The purchase of the new computer, that's a desktop, that's for Pete.
Correct.
Are we gonna have to teach him the new Windows-based system, or is that what
No, he's already got
working
it.
on?
Yeah, he's already got that.
I was gonna say, and how open to.
But it's Windows 7,
Yeah.
and as of July 1st, yeah,
Yeah, that's-
it's like, it's gonna self-destruct.
It's done.
Yeah, it's gonna smoke.
So, the new one's gonna have Windows 7?
No, no,
Or is
no.
current, I was gonna
The
say,
current
that's
one
not
is
what I
Windows.
read, I didn't
The
think.
new one will be
Okay.
10.
Whatever, yeah,
I believe it's 10.
So does he have is there gonna be a touchscreen with this?
I don't think so.
No, okay.
Regular desktop.
The Instagram account, and my question is who's in charge of it, who's monitoring it, the comments and the posts, that's all gonna be you?
It's an instrument. That's like messages back and forth.
No,
Or
it's
what?
more photo-based,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, there's posts, but it's mostly
Mostly pictures.
pictures.
yeah.
Because I know we have a policy of taking pictures and stuff, so
Right.
that will
We have a copy.
appear to the policy, yes. Okay. And I have a question on Homeward Bound. It's not that it's a lot of money. Did we use them last year?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
We,
Oh, yeah.
and that's the option we use every year, because if you send more than $2, you're over the limit.
Yeah, 2 or
Yeah,
4. If
3,
we said
yeah.
over 4, it would be over the limit.
$600 on temperature for the year.
Yeah.
So is it something that the select board would ordinarily approve, or it's under the limit? You know, the $1,500 limit?
I think that's, in my opinion, it's something you could approve, I guess. Unless,
I agree.
Okay, good.
Is it a contract though? Is that different?
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think it's a
No, the
contract, so
contract.
we have to, yeah,
If it's a
every year we
contract,
have to
we have to
enter into
approve.
the contract. So,
okay.
I don't wanna complicate things, but I think that's why we've always done it
always
that
done
way.
it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Fine. I move that we approve the consent agenda, all 5 items.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. We've had some discussion. So all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, we're at 7:10 by now. Yeah. Follow up on the select board action regarding the bark collars for Todd Baldwin.
Oh, he's not here yet,
Not here, so we will.
Well, that's,
but he was earlier.
He was here.
He thought the meeting started at 6.
no. Well. But you told them 7.
Would it, I mean, we gave some direction 2 weeks ago about having Sharon look up. I see we have some stuff in our packet.
Sure do.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of
Quite
stuff.
a lot of stuff.
I didn't realize how they work and all that. I got into it, but not quite. Read them all.
So I tried to summarize a little bit in my notes, and that in my review of the documents, I did not see anything where the select board specified automatic as opposed to training. At least I didn't find anything there. But in the February 15th, 2017 letter, although it was focused on the ultrasonic type collars, in the letter it did say that the select board is ordering Todd to purchase a model of his choosing. So,
Okay.
and I reviewed the minutes of that meeting, and there was no specified type.
Any comments, board? You've read all the packets. This is an ongoing.
Yeah, my only concern is we're getting conflicting information. And I know you're hearing dogs barking. Are you sure they're his dogs? She heard it on your phone, but she
I
also.
walked right up to the neighbor's house, the old Coleman house. It was all of them. It was 3 guards and all of them. They were all barking. It's not just 1 or 2, it's all of them. And my question to the board is this. If I bought a place over on Church Street or any other street in this village, and I put a fence out back and had 12 dogs and they barked like those do up there, how long would it take this board to send me a certified letter to say, quiet them or get rid of them? It wouldn't take that long, I can tell you that. So why do I have to pay all the taxes that I pay for that place up there and my mortgage, and I have to put up with it? I'm not a dog hater, I love dogs, but enough is enough. I can't even sit out on my back porch without being disturbed. And that is bull, you know what. So either change the dog laws or do something, but you're gonna have to do something because this is ridiculous. I pay my taxes like everybody else does. I want something done. And to your comment that the rest don't complain is because they own dogs. So they're not gonna complain.
I didn't say that, I
They
didn't,
have to
I didn't
complain.
say that they didn't complain, I just said, are you sure it's those dogs? Because, I talked with Mike Freegard the other day, he said he was on the phone with you, you said the dogs were barking, he said he was sitting there, they weren't. And then Valerie had a conversation with, and trust me, Brian, I don't know that Todd's wife or Todd were at home when they had the conversation, if they had a cell phone, they could have been anywhere, so I don't know that. But
Well, Friday when I called her, it wasn't 5 minutes later, you could hear Todd screaming at the dogs, and then they shut up for about half an hour. Then they started barking again.
And that could have been when the phone call was made and the dogs weren't barking. I don't know that.
At 10,
Just-
10:54 a.m., there were no dogs barking. later on, there was a dog barking, but this is at 6:01 PM. At what time did this occur?
No, she was saying when she talked to Brian, she'd heard the dogs. When she talked to Brian, she'd heard the
Yeah, when did
dogs.
she talk to Brian? Because here
I'm
she-
assuming that meant at 10.
at
midnight.
10:54, there were no dogs barking. But up here it says.
No, at 10:54, she said they were barking.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay attention to those times.
Okay.
I wouldn't put a lot of stake.
Yeah.
But I'm Brian, I get what you're talking about. I do take a little issue with you saying that we haven't done much or done anything, your statement was. I mean,
Well, I shouldn't have said that, but I'm just.
we've
getting a
got
little tired.
documents here that we've, you
I'm
know,
just getting a little tired of it.
Yeah.
So,
and I spent last evening, I went up in that neighborhood from about 6 o'clock till about 7:45, and I knocked on everybody's door with the exception of yours and Todd's, and talked with every neighbor, and just told them who I was, and said, you know the issues with the dogs, and do you hear them? And there was from, we hear them sometimes, to hear them enough, and yeah, we hear them, especially around food time, dinner time. You know, they said they were barking a half, 3/4 an hour ago, because they were probably going out to feed them, 5:30, 6 o'clock. They said they'd bark when they walked the kids up to go get on the bus. One lady said, when I take mine for a walk, I can't walk that way because they bark. Two of them said, I have dogs. Our two neighbors' dogs will bark back and forth. They both got, not bark collars, they got invisible fences. And so they said we don't hear them much in the wintertime. Their biggest complaint was one neighbor showed me rats under their bird feeder from the pigs. And they got rats that come across the road and get on. He said, "Look under my trailer. I got rat poisoning under there, so they don't get under the trailer and get into my insulation." So he said, "There's a big issue with the dogs is maybe the pigs." So I said, "Well, that's a health issue, and that's a different whole subject. I'm not here to discuss that tonight, but I'll take that information under advice, but for the board." But then I sat just about, so the dogs couldn't see me, between your house and them for about half an hour, 35, 40 minutes. I sat there with my car off, with the windows down. And it was, you could hear the birds chirping, and that's all I heard last night from about 7:05 to about 7:45. I sat right there beside the road and didn't hear a word. The dogs couldn't see me, and I didn't hear a word. Now, I'm not saying they don't bark other times. I agree they do, because the neighbor said, yeah, they bark. There's times they bark, and sometimes, we don't hear them, because especially in the winter months, the windows are closed, and, if our dog barks, they said, yeah, it has, they know it's been going an issue with you and Todd, and, but not that they said they didn't want to get involved, but they just said, it hasn't rose to a level that we'd be down here pounding on your doors. So, that was exactly one quote from one of them. So, I wanted to go up and hear myself, and to hear, the night when I was there, that person, I was in their living room just with the screen door partially closed, and their dog was barking like crazy at me, and they had put it in the bedroom to quiet it down. But he says, that's about, I wanted to go up and talk with the neighbors, because I know you said they don't want to get involved, and they told me, we have to live in the neighborhood, we don't really want to get involved, but one of them said, yeah, we hear them some, and especially when we walk the kids up to the bus. So,
It's my understanding there's a new dog up there too, a red bone that apparently is very noisy, according to Mike Freegard. Is it Mike? It's Mike, right?
I personally would
On
like.
Todd's land?
Yeah,
Or-
okay.
I mean, I said it when Therese was here. I'd like to see us at least have some kind of a policy. I realize we can't. They're technically not a kennel because they don't sell dogs, but they are boarding them.
yeah, he's got
No
200
pay.
He's got
And
200
without
people
pay,
now.
I guess. So is pay just, well, we'll bring you dog food for yours if you cover ours? It's kind of like, we'll give you gravel if you do this. I don't know. But I'd like to see us revamp our dog. And how many are enough for a pet? Is 5 enough? 4 enough? I don't know. I know some people had 4 dogs. He had a black chocolate lab, he had a black lab, he had a golden lab, or a yellow lab. They like, so I don't know if there's anything that we can say, 5's enough as a pet.
Why would we limit the number of dogs if they don't bark?
I don't know, Ted. I try. Or say, if you want more than that, you've got to have an enclosed structure that they can't be heard from your property line. We do it with zoning. You can't have certain things. We've read it. Can't have equipment idling at the property line or something. So many decibels. But that's not for here to decide tonight. But maybe that's something that we could work with Vermont League of Cities and Towns and say, can we change our dog ordinance that says you can only have so many, and if you have more, whether you board them or not, or free to board them, they have to be in a somewhat, you go out up Comfort Hill out there in Virgins, where my wife and I took our little one out there for training, and they're inside of an old cow barn. It's all been insulated and well, and we walked up there and couldn't hear the dogs. We got inside, we could hear them.
Sure.
So.
What if you had one dog that barked constantly, 24/7 and very
I
loud?
guess you better have it inside.
Or you better have a bark collar on it.
Yep. But I mean, we have zoning for, you can't have a piece of equipment idling, can't have after hours such and such, at the property line, but whether it's 24 hours, I'm not sure it's that much, or it's 4 hours, is enough enough?
And if I remember right, we got VLCT to say what's
Yep.
considered a kennel, what's not considered a kennel.
Right.
And it did not.
And it did not qualify for a kennel.
Joe?
And did I understand your emails right, that the sonar devices have disappeared?
Well, that's what I understood.
I didn't go to Brian's or Todd's, I knew somewhat of their opinion last night, so I just wanted to hear the neighbors. I really wanted to talk with the neighbors. I didn't ask them whether I didn't see any sonar, but I didn't drive up that road. It was so peaceful, I'm getting out. Then I parked up on top of the hill by Livingston's Field and stayed another half an hour. Didn't hear anything. And I said, well, I'm not going to go down and try to make the neighbors go to knock on the door and then the dogs bark. It was such a peaceful evening, so. Any more comment? Ian?
Can you have it under a noise ordinance, similar to like light construction and heavy construction? I mean, is that a way, so that you don't have to worry about like the number of dogs, because I think that's much more hard to determine, but can it just be under a noise?
We have a noise
We
ordinance
already have that.
after 10, I think it is. But that's not gonna solve this issue.
Right.
No.
I mean, I came back last night and then I talked with Randy about 8:30, and I just asked him, he goes, well, I had to drive up there a while back to meet my trooper that lives up on Hartsgravel Road, and he says, I drove by it and I rolled the windows down. I know you guys have had an issue and I didn't hear anything, but I was only driving by slowly and I didn't hear anything, but
It seems to be going nowhere.
it does.
And at one point, we were looking at it as a civil complaint. What happened with that?
Well, technically, it is. They'll say it's a civil complaint. If you ask an attorney, they're gonna say at this point it's a civil complaint. The town has done everything within their power.
Right.
Under their policy. He's supposedly complied with all of the requirements we made him do.
I mean, some of the neighbors were, they said, well, can't you get the Humane Society involved? And I said, we have. They've come up and said they're not
They
starving
can't
to
take
death.
them.
Can't take them, they're not starving to death, they are feeding them, they're getting water, and so.
Are we leaning away from it being a civil complaint?
I think that's between the two parties,
Yeah.
Ted. I don't think the board,
But
We
in that
can make that
case-
decision. I mean, the only thing we can do is say, what can we do and what can't we do? And
Yeah.
if we've done as much as
And
we
we've
can
done
do.
as much as we can.
I mean, the only other thing you could do now is give our dog ordinance to VLCT and say, this is what we've done, have we done everything in our power? According to our policy.
I mean, I don't understand how a dog ordinance, if it applies to him or I having dogs, and then I have 10 of somebody else's dogs here, how does that comply to the dog ordinance when it's not even, so I could have 10 dogs from New York at my house, and there is nothing that you can do about it then? Is that what I'm getting at?
I don't think there is anything in the dog ordinance that prevents that from happening.
Right.
I mean,
So how come you
if,
don't change the ordinance to apply to that then?
well, what I'm saying is if our ordinance doesn't deal with kennels, because that's under state statute, that's where that would come in. Are you considered a kennel or are you not considered a kennel? I don't remember that our dog ordinance has anything about numbers.
No, it doesn't.
I think if I look back through our dog ordinances, reverse back to VLT or what the state statutes. Keep using state statute. Let them write the rules. And that's where we got it was if you don't accept money or breed them for sale, it's not considered a kennel. So Tasha, you got a question?
Well, I had gone through the meeting notes, last meeting, and this was from June 12th, 2017, public forum. Brian McCormick discussed the barking dog issue he was still experiencing on Hard Gravel Road. He called the state police on Saturday. Dogs were barking, yada yada. Therese Kirby has received VLTC's draft model dog ordinance for the board to review. Under the current ordinance, the town of Bristol has done all they can do. At this point, it's become a civil issue, and Brian McCormick can take civil action under the state of Vermont nuisance laws if he chooses. And then this was from August 21st, 2017. Let's see, stated the dogs are barking, sonar, and then where did it go? Therese Kirby at this point feels that a civil action as discussed at a previous select board meeting. Select board asked Therese to mail a letter to Brian McCormick telling him they would take no further action on this matter at this time, as Todd Baldwin, Mike Freegard, and Sean Freegard has done everything that has been asked of them.
Yeah, we have that letter.
Yep, you got that. Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say is if the sonars are disappeared, then we need to make sure they get back. Because I believe that was at least helping with Sean's dogs when the sonar was keeping his dogs.
Well, does anybody else remember that statement that the boxes went missing?
Are missing,
Well, I saw it in I thought it was.
Well, yeah, I read
You
that.
guys still on the process of the dogs and the pigs?
Yeah, have a seat, Todd.
I'm not Todd.
Or Scott, have a seat. We're just discussing it now.
Well, can I speak now?
Sure.
We don't have no pigs at the house, so I don't know where you're getting the gut pigs and rats.
I've just heard it from your neighbors, Todd, or Scott.
All we have is chickens,
Okay.
okay? And I'm sick and tired of listening to Crybaby over there complain about the
I'll
dogs.
address the board, please. No.
I've lived there a lot longer than he has. I've had dogs all my life. If he don't like living there, he can move. Okay?
And you can kiss
Whoa,
me.
oh. Guys,
I mean, my father's had dogs when he lived there. My cousins and brother-in-laws had dogs. We've always had dogs. Mike feeds his own dogs, and Todd feeds his own dogs. Okay? So how does he know whose dogs are whose at my house? If he don't go up here nosing around.
Scott.
Our land is posted. It's registered through the town. Okay? We had those bark eliminators up there. Somebody stole one for a trail camera. They thought it was a trail camera. So we only got one left. So, like I said, I watch this on TV all the time. And he complains about the dogs. He knows whose dogs are whose. But how does he know that if he's not up there nosing? They got names on the collars, on their tags. And like I said, how does he know whose dogs are whose? If he don't go up there nosing around.
Okay.
I mean, that's my thing.
Okay.
You've been to my house last summer for 3 hours. Did you hear a dog bark?
No.
You've been by my house how many times? And how many times have you heard a dog bark when you went by my house?
Only when there's people around.
Yep. And that's the problem. When there's somebody around, the dogs will bark because Wendell, my friend Wendell's over there doing sugaring. His kids come over, his girlfriend's kids come over. The dogs will bark. You can ask Eric. If Eric goes up on the hill with the trucks, the dogs will bark. Kale's was over there today, cutting trees, him and Josh and Hubble. They didn't hear a dog barking. The other night when I got home, I didn't know the kids were down back. It was Friday night. I'm the one that hollered at the dogs, not Todd.
Okay.
And the other night when they had that car accident, that lady died. I'm the one that was hollering at the dogs. I didn't know what was going on. So, and he must have a pretty goddamn good cell phone if he can record a dog barking from his house to my house.
Okay.
So, I'm just tired, I'm sick and tired of listening to come down here every month.
You think you're
complaining
tired
about
of it?
dogs.
You think you're tired of it?
I know you
This sits
guys
at
are
this
too,
table,
but-
too. And this is the first time, and I've known your family since you were that
Yeah.
high and rode the bus.
I know,
This is the
I've
first
known
time-
you and you and
and
you
this is
all
the
my
first
life.
time,
I don't know
Scott,
the rest of these people
I know,
here.
but Scott, this is the first time we've heard this side. Okay, we only, you know, there's old saying, there's both sides.
Well, the only reason why I don't
Story,
come down
the
here
truth.
to do
And
it
it's the
because
first
I
time
don't
we've
want
heard
to get,
from
you know,
guys.
in trouble. But I just sitting there watching it on TV, and when you guys mention the pigs at the house, and we don't have no pigs. All we got is chickens.
Okay. I just, like I said, I'm just reporting.
And the dog that you said you heard barking the other day is Kingsman, with down back because there's kids down back playing.
Okay.
And I don't know how you can see the dog from the main road when you drive by.
I didn't say I could see the dogs.
Well, that's what I was told, that you said that you saw that red dog down back.
No.
That's what I was told.
Not a hearsay.
Mike told me that you
Well, I was told that-
got a new dog, a red bone.
No, and
And
you know, we
then
got
it's-
him last summer. He given, well, guy had it, he gave it away. He came back and got it, and he didn't want it, so we took it. Because he was just gonna dispose of it. So, but I was told that you said when you drove by the house the other day, you could see the red dog running around down back.
No.
But I don't know, you know, like I said, I don't know how you could do it because there's a shed right there. He's got that shed.
Can I ask a couple questions
Okay.
for our records, really? We've heard you got rid of some dogs. How many dogs does Scott and Todd, not the free guards, how many dogs do you guys own?
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5.
That's it.
And they're all registered with a town? Yep. And Mike has 4?
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, they just brought one to West Virginia over the weekend.
So they have 4 now.
Well, there's one there now. A guy's supposed to be coming getting it because they made a deal with Sean and Mike about dogs. Well, Sean had it, you know, got a puppy from him. This guy, well, 2 of them, which his puppy that he just took to, you know, West Virginia, and he had the other puppy, which the guy came and got that one and sent a female back with Sean until he got back from Ohio or Hawaii.
Okay.
So he was supposed to been back by the end of the month, but Sean ain't heard nothing from him. But he told him if he's got to come and get it, or he's gonna have to, you know, start paying the taxes on it. So I haven't heard nothing. I didn't see Mike at all tonight because he came and took the collars off the dogs himself to take home and charge them.
Okay.
So-
So and Scott has, or Todd, Mike has, and Sean have
They got a total of 4. They got right now there's 4 at the house.
4 and 1 may be leaving.
No, yeah,
Okay.
but one's already gone to West Virginia. It'll be there until the end
No,
of May.
there's 4 up there today.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Alrighty.
But I didn't think there was a law on how many dogs you can have.
There presently isn't, no.
There is not.
There's not. No. There is not.
But like I said, you've been to the house, you didn't hear a dog bark.
I was there
You've
last
been by my house, you never heard a dog bark. He goes by my house all the time and don't hear the dog barking. Right now, that when I left my house, there wasn't a dog barking. They're all in their dog houses sleeping. 'Cause they've been fed and watered.
Okay.
And like I said, there's the only time the dogs will bark. My next door neighbor lives up on the hill, she's got a daycare. She said the only time the dogs will bark is when it's feeding time, or there's something around, or they're going hunting. She said when they all bark at once, constantly, nonstop, I mean there's something around that's not supposed to be there, so she gets her kids inside from daycare. Last summer, from one end of that road to the other, there were 7 different bear on that road.
Yes, the neighbors did say that.
My nephew had
They've
one
seen
right on
bear.
his back, right on his front porch, from me to
Foxes.
you.
Yep, foxes and there. Yep, the neighbors did say that they've seen bear and foxes in the neighborhood.
And then when Todd talked to Sharon and Larry Coleman, Sharon said, yeah, there was one time the dogs got irate last summer. She said, I couldn't stand it, went inside. Todd said, yeah, because he saw 7 different issues. We had 2 bear on our lawn and our bird feeders. Todd said, well, there you go.
Yep.
The dogs are gonna bark. I got home
Okay.
last night from work. I sat outdoors for a minute and I hear a bear hooting across the road. One was down behind his house. A bear hooting. So, what do you think the dogs are gonna do? They're gonna bark if they can smell a bear or hear, you know, or anything like that. The dogs are gonna bark.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Todd. Or Scott, sorry.
So I'm, you know,
Glad you showed up. We haven't heard from the Baldwin family, and this has been going on for 2 years now, almost
when
2
we
years.
sit here and watch it, and he's
Yep.
here and Mike's here, he'll go, oh, Mike, they're not your dogs.
Okay.
But
I'm
how
not
does he
gonna-
know whose dogs are
we're
whose,
gonna
like I
keep
said?
this- We're gonna keep this civil, and we're not gonna point, I'm glad you came, and we got it, like I said, there's two sides, and we wanted to get somewhere, everyone try to find the truth here, and resolve this the best we
But
can.
now
Or whether
another
it goes
question
to
is-
civil.
Another question is there any ordinance during the day
There is a,
only at 11 o'clock at night?
10.
There's an ordinance, noise ordinance at 11 o'clock at night,
10.
but not during the day.
10 o'clock,
After 10 o'clock.
after 10 o'clock.
But there's not one during the day, is there?
I don't believe so.
No.
Okay,
But I do believe being good neighbors. I mean, my neighbor has 2 dogs. We have a dog. If either one of them sits there and barks all the time, we bring it in. We don't let it bark. And she.
Well, I talked to a neighbor- I talked to one of my
That's
old
what
neighbors
good
the other
neighbors
day.
do.
talked to one of my old neighbors the other day. They moved, they sold their place and they moved to Starksboro. Talked to her at the laundromat, talking to her about the dogs. She said, I hardly ever hear the dogs barking at your house. She said, the only time I heard them bark is when there was something around, because she said she had bear on her back lawn. I mean, there's been bear in Livingston's field.
Yep.
And right now, when I just came by, there's at least 6 or 7 deer up in the field. But I don't know if that's what they're, if the dogs will bark at them or not, but they don't bark them when I left. So,
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Any more discussion? Or resolution?
so now there's gotta be an end put to all this about the dogs barking constantly 24/7, which they don't bark 24/7. When they do bark, I'll go out and holler at them and shut them, they'll shut up. If anybody else is hollering at them, they won't shut up, only me. And sometimes I go up there, like I said, when they had that car accident, I didn't know what was going on.
I heard you holler at
Well, I got up, I rolled over and I see light shining up towards the dog kennel. So I said, I didn't know what was going on. So I got up and I hollered at the dog. And they wouldn't shut up. Then I see silhouette of a person going through the headlights, which I thought maybe, they're getting ready to leave. Well, I got my shoes and stuff on and went up to the dog kennel and they were all still barking. I noticed that's when the fire department came and they told me there was an accident. So, of course the dog's gonna bark if you got lights shining up there and you're not gonna shut up when they hear people talking. And when he said when he talked to, I don't know who it was, you, on the phone, recording the dogs barking, and then Todd called you and he was sitting from here to that door from the kennel and the dogs weren't barking. There's dogs that down the road from us are barking all the time. But he don't hear those dogs, only our dogs.
Okay. Alrighty. I think we've.
So there's got to be something, but it's going to have to end soon. I'm not going to get rid of the dogs for nobody. The dogs are fed and watered and everything else. We used to have the state cops and everything else come to the house every winter complaining about the dogs. They don't got proper shelter, proper food and all this, but they got proper shelter and food and water. They get fed and watered every day in their water. In the some winter time, they get water, hot water in their food. Mike feeds his dogs chicken broth or beef broth in their food. But we give them hot water, we cook them macaroni, or we got parts of cow that we've cut up and we cook that and we feed that to them in the summer, the winter time and stuff like that.
Okay.
And so there's got to be an end to it soon.
Yep.
So
This board wants an end to it soon.
I know. So it's got to end.
Yep.
It's just like moving in beside a railroad tracks and complaining about the train going by or moving by an airport.
Okay.
It's just like the guy that bought the house up where Marseilles used to live. He bought it, then he complained about Livingston's spreading cow poop up there. It's
Okay. I think we've heard enough. Okay.
I don't see where there's anything else we can do.
I can't disagree with that statement, Ted. I mean, it's a civil matter.
Yes.
Whether,
Yeah. We can try VLCT again.
I'm not sure what.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
they're gonna tell us anything different. I mean,
Well, no, just to cement it one more time. But
Well,
I don't
they
see
just
where.
ordered, Wendell ordered some more collars off of eBay or whatever for the dogs. like what Big Mike bought, got his dogs.
If that's been a little bit of an issue or discrepancy.
But no,
Are they
these
are these bark collars
no,
or
they're
training?
just like what Big Mike's got.
Bark collars?
Yes.
Okay.
But I'm saying, it's even with the ones that you got, what we have now, if you put that on the dog and they bark, you shock them once, they don't bark again, they'll tie you.
Okay.
It's like it's a shock collar.
It is not a training collar.
No,
what
a
I
training collar is
Right.
different than a
No, I
shock
know
collar.
what-
That's what we wanted to.
Yes.
Okay.
Because I tell you, I can bring a collar down, have you put it on, turn it on one, shock you once, you ain't gonna want it again.
Now,
I'm telling you.
I don't want
You
it
didn't
personally.
I mean, I'm just saying,
You didn't bring it tonight?
But I'm just saying, if I brought one down and had you put it on you, and had you talk and I shocked you once, you're not gonna want it again. You're gonna say, I don't want no more.
so you
Give me what I
shock
want.
the dog, or the dog, the collar does it itself?
No, we got a remote in the house.
So okay, that's what I want to know. What's that difference between that and the one that Mike's?
Well, the one Mike's got is just got a knob that you can turn on.
So he doesn't have to be there to shock them.
No.
Right. The minute they bark.
I think that's.
Yes,
I think
once they
that's,
bark, it'll shock them.
I think that's what.
But that's what we got now. That's what
What's
Wendell.
coming is.
Yes.
So you don't have to say, "Oh, they're barking. I got to go get the remote and go
No,
boom."
well, where Todd sits, as you walk in the house, Todd sits right there, so the remote's right beside him. So when the dog barks down back Kingsman, he'll shock him and he'll shut up and go to the doghouse. Won't
Well,
bark
he's
again.
going to have a bark collar, so you don't even have to do that.
Yes, the new collars that Wendell ordered is where you don't have to shock them with the remote. Like Big Mike said, they bark, they'll
Right.
get shocked.
Okay.
So
If you've got 5 different dogs with 5 different collars, does one remote shock all of them?
yes,
Ooh.
if you got,
So
if
the
you
one's sitting
order
there
them that
sleeping
way,
gonna get woke up, right? Is that what
if you
get?
order them as a package, it'll come with one remote. But they get wore out after a while, so he's got some that are bark collars that you don't have to do nothing with. No, you just put them on there, they'll bark. Then the other ones are like I said, with the remote.
Okay.
But the ones that we just ordered, well, I didn't. Well, Wendell did because he ordered them with his credit card, and he ordered 3 of them, I think, 2 or 3. But it's just like I said, Big Mike's got. You just turn the knob, and they're on, and that's it.
Okay.
You don't have.
I think those are.
But you have to charge them.
I hope that'll make a difference. And
But you have to charge them every now and then,
Sure.
like you do everything else. So.
Right. Okay. So, we're not looking for any. I guess we're not looking for a motion to do anything. You just continue to.
I don't see if there's anything we can do.
And actually, at the
Hope we
prior
get-
meeting, the select board did ask or direct that
Yeah.
those automatic collars be
Automatic
used, and
bark
it sounds
collar.
like now that's happening as well.
Right. At like
But
free guards were.
one of the dog Sean just took to New Jersey or West Virginia, from the collars being on that dog all the time, he's got 2 holes in his neck right here.
Yeah, that's,
You can't leave the collars on him all day long.
no.
We did over the weekend because, like I said, because all the kids were down back playing, because we're boiling sap, so we left the collars on from Friday to this morning. But you can't leave a collar on the dog all day long.
It's
I don't
inhumane.
care. It's just cruelty to the animal.
Okay.
If a vet, if the Humane Society came and saw that, the collar on that dog and saw those 2 holes in that dog's neck, they'd get you cruelty to animals.
All right.
So,
Let's. I guess basically just monitor it. I guess I'm for any better lack of term, and hoping the new collars get here and get on and
and
I
there's
hope
something
I would
like I
hope
said,
with a little advice the collars would be on at least from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon till maybe 8-9 o'clock in the morning. So
well, depending on
so
what time
during the
they might
evening,
be
you can
there.
have you enjoy. You're at work, and if they're off during when you're at work, or people are at work, that's one thing. But they're back on by middle afternoon till
Yeah, Mike.
the following morning.
Mike goes back to work, I think this week or next week. So
Yeah.
he don't get out of work and he don't come to the house till about 6 o'clock. And Wendell feed, they feed the dogs at the house from whenever. From I'm gonna say 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock.
Okay.
It depends. 'Cause right now he fed the dogs early because he's boiling. So
Okay.
Those collars have got to have a time limit for when they're applied to the dog. There's got to be something in the instructions saying don't leave the collar on for any longer.
Well, you're not supposed to.
than This.
Like I said, that Sean's dog that he just took to West Virginia has got 2 small
Yeah,
holes
that's-
in its neck
that's in
from
your
where
neck.
that collar sits there on its neck. And they're,
Okay.
and the holes are, and
I
it's
think
probably
we-
about as big as your pencil. Or your
Okay.
pen.
All right, we've heard and we've beaten this up enough, so to speak. I hope we get some resolution, and I hope I don't think you'll ever convince all the neighbors or any but I hope we at least good neighbors have to live with each other and abide by, try to make the dogs behave themselves, I guess. If that's a better
Well, you
term.
know-
It's like having a nasty kid to race something down the road with a 4-wheeler or something. It's the same thing. So I'm just saying, we've talked about this enough. So the board wants it to go
Do
away.
that.
I didn't say that to anybody, but no. But okay.
But I thought I heard the select board say, or at least the direction you were headed, was to affirm your earlier determination that
That it's-
this is a civil matter.
Yes.
And
Right.
that there's nothing
Yeah.
more
Was-
for the select board to do.
Well, I guess from what Todd said, Hills are supposed to be coming over digging some more dirt, taking it because they need it for fill. So that's gonna be dug down more, and where the dogs are now, I guess he's gonna have them dig that down a little deeper.
Well,
So,
that's
but I don't know anything more about it except for what he said, that Brian said, Hill said they're coming over this week to dig some dirt. Taking it for fill, so.
okay. Alrighty. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming in. You can stay. We've got to move on. You want to go down, bring Erica up, because is she coming, Taylor?
Around 8:30.
8:30. So, huh?
So it's a civil matter?
I guess the minutes can reflect that we've discussed it and you saw both sides, and the board still determines their action back in 2017. It's now become a civil matter, and it's up to one party to.
I move that we treated it as a civil
I'll
matter.
take a motion. For a second. It's a motion and a second to treat this as a civil matter. Any more discussion? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Alrighty. Okay, selection of a contractor for North Street paving from Main Street to Whitcomb's Greenhouse. Pine Street Gardens. Call that. Eric, you're up.
So this is all settled, then I can go home.
Yep. You can stay or you can go home. It don't
Now I
matter.
gotta go home, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning, so.
Okay, thanks,
I'm not sure it's
Scott.
settled, but
See you, Joe. Have a good night.
Yep.
Oh, I gotta go this way.
yeah.
So the select board members did receive a copy of the pipe.
Yep, I saw that in here.
Doesn't hardly seem like enough.
No,
So does that include, Eric, right up to the sidewalk from like Bill Bouvier's to Plank Road? and fixing
Doing that swale again?
Those catch basins
Yes.
and,
I made sure that I told Mike that, that needed to be included.
Yeah.
Because we had a few residents up there that were very particular about their frontage, and that needed to be incorporated in that price. And he said he put it in there. The only thing that, is not clear yet, and is to do with the grinding, if they were gonna have to grind by the curbings and around the catch basins that are on North Street. At the time that he did the proposal, there was too much snow and ice on the sides, so he couldn't tell. He was gonna have to come back.
well, the catch basins are already higher than the pavements.
Right, but I was,
Well,
if you wanted to keep the same, if you wanted to keep the same reveal of the curbing, you would have to, if you're putting 2 inches of mix, you would have to grind in that area 2 inches around,
Sidewalk.
so you could keep the same reveal. That's the only thing that we were talking about.
We talked some about trying to run it out to nothing, but that's probably not gonna be thick enough out there.
I think it's gonna break
maybe
eventually.
it out to nothing to the curb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
make it real thin, as well as tight as they can screw it down.
Well, you shouldn't be driving,
No, when it gets the
close
curb.
anyways,
Right.
But,
So we're talking about grinding and then just surface paving.
right,
So to
it's
speak.
gonna be a shim and a top.
you'd be grinding, what, 2-4
Probably,
feet
probably 2 to 4 feet.
down by the side of the curb so that you kept the reveal on the curb.
Feet?
Wide.
Wide.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's a lot of asphalt. out there.
Yeah.
A lot of gravel.
2 to 4 feet wide so that they can come down with the pavement and keep the reveal on the curb.
Keep the slope.
Yep.
I just, wanna make sure when we get it though, that we catch the water in the catch basins because
Well,
Right
I
now
did
it's
make
running
that,
down
I
that.
showed Mike that when we went and looked at it. I said, a lot of the issues that we're having here is because the water don't even get to the catch basins anymore. It just goes right by them. I said, that's one of the main things I'm looking at, is to fix the real ruts and to make sure the water stays to the sides and gets into the catch basins.
Yeah, because right now, a couple of people that you mentioned that are fussy about their lawns, which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
The puddles, particularly coming off Devon Lane, you
Yep.
get that puddle and it splashes everything right out.
Yep, exactly.
Speaking of Devon Lane, where you cut across that, would you like cut up into Devon Lane maybe 10 feet? And where you put the culvert across?
It would probably go just above that.
Above that, yeah,
Yeah.
3-4 feet above that.
Yeah.
Or something, yeah.
How far is this from?
9/10 of a mile,
9/10.
just over 9/10.
And the reason, one of the main reasons, well, two of the main reasons for doing this is, how bad shape it is in now, and the water problem that getting to the catch basins. And the second thing is when the state goes through and paves next year, if they still do, then we'll have all 4 entrances in the Bristol will be all nice. So.
More recently paved at least.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Okay. And you had mentioned to me the other night, you still haven't heard from the other two. You asked for a couple.
Hutchison's are not gonna bid. Pikes isn't willing to play ball with them because that's where they get their mix from. And so there's no way that they can even compare with that price there. And Whitcomb's never called me back.
Probably too far away, I don't know.
But Hutchinson did say that this fall, when we get ready to pave again, to give him a call and he'll see what he can do. Maybe they'll be better by then.
$69 a ton is not bad.
No, that's actually cheaper than what we paid last year.
Yeah. Price of the oil must be down a little.
Well, he did say that if we could get it done early in the spring, that he could give me a really good price. So.
And that's the really good, that's the spring price?
Yeah.
Or-
Yep.
Is there any thought, Eric, I know we looked at it a number of years ago.
Get a really good product.
We looked at it a number of years ago on our trips. That retaining wall from Devon Lane south on the northbound lane there. The last section of that retaining wall is just about all gone.
Yeah, it is. It should be dug out.
I mean,
Theoretically.
Well,
should
who
that?
owns the wall?
It's in right away.
It's in the right away.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is there? Should we? If we fix that a year later, or 2 years later, or 3 years later, is that going to affect the road, or should we do it? Think about doing it.
It depends on what you're going to do to fix it. If you're going to go down through and dig it out with the excavator, 2 years shouldn't be peaker. Shouldn't leave tracks that bad in 2 years. As long as you
don't do it when it's hot.
As long as you don't do it in the summertime when it's hot, and you do it like say spring or
Well,
fall.
I just wonder if maybe those 4-foot blocks would be. You'd have to dig back a ways instead of that. That's the wall that's only about this wide, but you can see it's going.
Use the 2x6s.
Yeah, 2 foot by 6s.
Do that. But I don't know, is it, who put those in originally? I mean, I find it hard to believe the town did it. I think probably the landowners did it because they wanted a flat lawn.
I don't know. That'd be a question for your dad, probably. The old timers who put those in. I mean, I can't imagine all 3 of them put
They
them
may have been there longer than that.
in. Right.
Yeah, it could very well be. Yeah.
I mean, you can see it. It's part of the ditch.
Yeah, it is. It's the
ditch line.
back part of the ditch.
I remember when I was a kid and you worked for the youth service there, and that was one of the jobs Hap gave you.
Shovel that out.
You shovel that out, put it on the edge of the road, and the crew came up with a loader later and loaded it.
Yeah, we just shovel it right into the bucket now.
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure we weren't, going, okay, we're going to fix that next year, 2 years from now, and then tear the road up.
Yeah.
Because there is a cement bottom of those.
Yes, there is.
There's a cement bottom of those. I was just thinking if you dug half a bucket wide towards the lawns, and there's some bushes that would have to go in that middle property, and put those blocks up through there. It was, because you put that good culvert in, and you put another one in at Biden's driveway or Mike Ladou's driveway,
Yep.
and that's where we want the water to go.
You know, if that's not 2 foot, they'd stick up above the lawn. I don't know how tall that wall is.
It's gotta be at
It's,
least-
Yeah.
probably
It's
something
probably
like
2
that.
feet. It's probably 2 feet. But that's just another issue. I saw the other day, but I just want to make sure we weren't tearing. Said, well, now we're gonna put that in. Okay.
Yep.
So, what's your pleasure on this?
I move that we grant Pike Industries bid price at, given now, $92,743.56 to pave that section.
Okay. And just a correction there, Tasha. That should say Pine Tree Gardens, not Hefferman's Greenhouses.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Any more discussion?
Eric, is that figure subject to change based upon fluctuations in oil prices?
He didn't say that. Usually it does, depending on the oil prices at the time that it's done. But he didn't mention that this time when he sent the quote up. I told him that we weren't going to be ready to pave it until probably first part of the second week of May, and he didn't say anything about the price may change.
It says the price is valid through 2019 paving season, so.
I would hold him.
Yeah.
And-
So he should.
They'll make it up if they decide to grind. They'll make it up.
You think so? Yeah. I do have, I drove up North Street last night, it was just, around the raining time, of course, the water come down. Is any thought of, not so much ditching, but cutting the lawn back? The water came out just before Louise, Acker's driveway, and it went out into the road and then around her culvert.
Yeah, we gotta do some ditching up through there, some shoulder work and
Okay.
all that before.
I didn't know if her driveway, was that culvert, I couldn't see the culvert because the water was biffed up. I know
Yeah, there's a
froze.
culvert in that driveway.
I know there's a culvert there, whether it's old or all crushed or what. I don't know. But that'll be taken care of.
It's an older culvert. It's not something that we've replaced recently, no.
Okay. That will be all be
Is it
taken
of
care of.
adequate size?
I
Diameter?
believe that one's 12 inch. I mean, theoretically, if you change it, you're supposed to go upsize, so it should be at least a 15 in it if we change it,
I mean,
which,
if we're not gonna pave that road again they didn't pave that since the big dig, right? And that was,
yeah, so no, we could change it. It's 20-foot culvert. It's no big deal to slap one in.
because they could curl it up onto
Yeah, they'll just pave right up over it when they go by.
I just wanted to mention to you, I saw the water was going right out in the road.
Yeah, no, there's up by Kevin's place up there, that we got some shoulder work to do up through there on both sides of where his place is.
My
and
mom's old place.
Your mom's old place. And then by Pine Street, headed back towards the light on
Yeah.
Pine Street side, that bank there, we gotta take probably a foot and slope it back, the shoulder there. But yeah, I'm guessing we got probably a week worth of work up there to get ready.
Is there a culvert across Pine Street? Headed north? You know, at the end of Pine Street and where it meets North Street?
No,
No?
not that I'm aware of. I've never seen one there.
Never seen one there.
No.
The water runs across. And
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen any outlet there.
No.
No,
I
I've
don't know where
never.
it would outlet.
No.
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 Put it in the basement of that house.
Yeah.
Well, in between the sidewalk, that, where Darla used to park there on the corner.
Yeah, but there's no ditch there.
No.
No, it's level of the road, so.
Yeah.
Well, the water runs down the road and just runs down the edge of the road.
Or the sidewalk.
Yeah, the next catch basin is way up where Raleigh Devino's house
Yeah.
was. There's two.
Yeah.
tracks. That just runs off into the field, under the sidewalk and out into the field.
Right,
Right.
Yeah.
right.
Right. Yeah, the water from Pine Street just runs down the edge of the road all the way to
Yeah.
till it gets down to between Bill's and Devon's old farmhouse.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't call for, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Well, we got you right here.
Yeah.
Upcoming spring projects.
You can take one. Take one, pass it down.
your grant page is missing the blind catch basin. I don't know that it matters, but it says 4 catch basins, it should be 5.
Oh, that's why it says draft.
There'd be 6 speakers if you're counting the blind one.
No, it only says 4 on here.
There's
There's
5.
6, yeah, you're right. It
blind
should be
box.
6.
Should be 6 altogether. 5 dry wells and then that blind
Yep.
one.
Should be 6.
Hear that now?
Make sure that
Six.
6. 1, 2, 3,
Oh,
4,
okay.
5, 6.
Yeah.
So a blind one.
Well, I see one down here, it says maybe.
The
The
blind one
just a
just
minute.
one down by Champlain Farms, is that a
Okay,
7?
Distribution.
That's 7 then, down here.
If we decide to do that
Church
one,
Street.
we can actually, if we decide to do that,
Church Street, the one.
what I was
one
thinking of
each side
doing is
the
using
Church
one of
Street.
these that we take out, that
That
ECI
culvert
put in
comes down
when we did
through
that, and
from
just
School
using
Street,
that
comes down
there,
through
and then
from-
running a pipe from
comes
there
down
back
through
to this
from
one.
Church Street.
Yeah,
And then it would
okay.
I
just
think
And
we
they
ought
come
to.
together in the
Why we
center of
do
the
that.
road. and
Hold on, we
you
gotta
don't
go.
use T's and under the road anymore.
Okay, what's that, Peter?
The blind catch basin is a pipe connection. It's where in the place of the T that's there now, so that you can access it.
You just
You
got a
can
storm
access
cover over it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's got a manhole cover over it.
Manhole cover.
Yeah.
Basically,
So it's just, yeah, it's just a
5
box.
5 foot.
box that the pipes just all come out.
All come into one, and then you have a sediment bottom that you can clean out and suck out.
And that will have the steel cover on it because it'll be right in the center of it. We were trying to figure out if we could get Church Street into,
You mean Park Street?
well, Church Street. It comes from Church Street.
Right, right.
Down the alley.
We
Down
were
the alley.
trying to figure out if we could get that into one or the other, and there's no way to do it and be straight like you're supposed to, so.
So
Okay.
the one that comes from Church Street at the
Now,
end of
did
the
I read
pathway,
somewhere here
Yeah, it goes
Comes down
right
through.
straight through the center of the
right
road.
down.
that they want to, did I read here, or is it my imagination in here, that they want to do this with, like
Dry wells.
dry wells and not pump it, not, excuse me, not going down the
It'll,
original
yes,
pipe?
well, I think the idea is this helps us with
Our roads permit.
yeah. And, you know, when we talked about this earlier, we talked about just taking the pipe out and putting the new pipe in and leaving the catch basins. And I think that was something that our crew could do, and I had the conversation with Eric, being where this is and the size of these structures. I don't know that it's anything that,
Not saying they can't do it, but boy, it's going to stretch their summer out.
yeah.
It's gonna stretch our summer out,
Yeah,
and
I'm not, they're capable of doing
And
it.
and the other side of it is you take that 8-foot structure and
The
in
machine
order
big
to
enough to
meet,
beat it.
in order to meet all the rules, we don't have the equipment to.
Get down in the hole.
Right.
right.
But these aren't going to be like the dry well over by my place. It doesn't
No,
work.
they're dry wells. Okay, the way this works is it's a dry well. And then once the water gets up, it goes out the pipe.
So the sediment stays in the bottom of the dry well once you're
Sediment stays in the bottom of the
manhole dry well, and then you suck it out after.
And then the holes, I'm assuming the holes are up higher.
Right.
Yeah, there's a sump.
And then the pipe is above that.
Yeah.
So when, in a light rain, the idea is in a light rain, the water goes into the ground. In a heavy rain that overwhelms it, it goes out the pipe like it normally would.
But
And it's a pre-treatment, it's gonna give us credit for pre-treatment.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I think it should bode well for
Kind of like.
if we're applying for something in the future, they're gonna say, well, we're at least
We've
trying.
started it. and we've
Something
tried.
like this.
Yeah.
This is the bottom of
Yeah.
the ground, and
The pipe is up there, but underneath
this
that
is-
pipe, it's full of holes.
full of holes. Water goes out,
Right.
and the sediment stays in here, and you
Correct.
run off sediment, and then you suck it out with a back truck,
Right,
Correct.
and it doesn't go into the river.
right.
That meets our standards. Okay. I was thinking that we were going back to cutting it off, not even going.
No,
I'm going. They work poorly at best.
Right.
Yeah.
No, no.
They get
Okay.
overwhelmed in
They
the
get
spring
overwhelmed.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the soot goes against the stone.
So this is this the one by the school that we were?
No, we're not. We're
You're on East Street now.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was trying to figure out. Are we talking about both of these projects, or we're just
No,
on,
this is
we're
just
just on the West Street?
Just this
Right
one.
now, we're talking about West Street, but we're
Let's
gonna
talk
try
about
to
West Street and get
incorporate
that
both of them into one,
one
So
bid.
this here is that pipe coming from
one
Church.
bid, one
Yeah.
grant.
So
Try
you
to
have to
move.
tie back
as
in
one
back
project.
here, and then tie these two in. We talked about moving the catch
Right.
basin up in front of merchants or.
Right, get that out, that's the one where it says eliminate.
Yep,
And
Yep.
at the same time, that hydrant should be replaced.
Well, that was when we had Cy here, last year, we said, Cy, that was the last of the
Well,
old
the
ones.
issue is, I don't believe there's a shut off for that either. So
No.
it means that the road's got.
That's one of the reasons why we put the one in down by Page and Campbell
Yeah,
now, because that one was so bad over here.
yeah.
I think we ought to try to move it across the road.
Are these two catch basins already there?
They exist, yes.
So, and this is not.
That's not, there's a T,
So,
there's
okay.
a
Is
T
this
in
an
the
old
ground.
So
Hybrid
we're replacing
here?
that.
Yes, very old.
Adding
Okay.
this.
So I don't have a shut off,
Yeah.
it's only got a 2.5, it doesn't have a steamer
Replacing those
connection.
two.
But they're there.
Last time they used that was
And this is a main.
the Gulf Station.
That's a maybe if we can move one of these. These are
hooked up to
fairly
it.
new.
Mm-hmm.
I say fairly new, probably 20 years.
right.
So this is a
But they
project
should
you wanna
still
do
be
this
good, so if
summer.
we wanted to take one of those.
We gotta do this
We
summer.
gotta do it this summer.
Let it settle out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why don't we, is your thought to is the board's thought to have Eric put this out on bid with the East Street and the hydrant all as one? Or we do the
I
hydrant
think this is one project. I haven't looked at the East Street project, but I got my own page on that.
But you're welcome.
coming through?
Could you just go and explain it to me while you're like talking it through?
I have a question when we get to East Street.
Yeah, but we're all understanding of what we're doing on West.
Oh,
Street
yeah.
In front of the park, okay.
So that's going to eliminate that big puddle in front of the post office, hopefully.
If we put that catch basin, if we
move.
move one of the catch basins that we're taking out into there, that's my goal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Eric, what is the thought,
Maybe issue here.
or the board's
There's
thought?
nothing there now.
Yes. Yeah, right, that's why there's a big puddle here.
Yeah. And Eric's thought is to take one of these old ones and move it up here
Oh, okay,
and then just connect it to
okay,
that.
yeah, got it.
Are we saying
Post office,
Post office?
well,
It can't be.
post
There
office
should be
is
farms
between the
here.
bank, post office between the bank. and-
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is, they
Yeah.
missed something.
Yeah, Eric didn't draw it.
It's there, just saying, just imagine.
What'd they do?
You missed the post
The
office.
post office just
There.
says it, the
How's
driveway.
that?
There,
post
there,
office.
did you draw a line there? I
Oh,
did.
yeah,
No, just,
yeah,
There you
you're
go.
right.
There.
You're right. Yep, I did.
So yeah,
What's the thought,
the East Street one is, I didn't realize. it was there.
Bigger, before we get on the East Street, what's the thought about, it's kind of a mishmash between here and till you get to the bank about, you pull in front of the post office and back out. And what's the thought of, I won't say design because that's gonna cost us more money, but some kind of a curve out.
Actually, Eric and I, when we met
Yep.
with the V-Trans folks for the paving project, we stood out there and talked about that quite a bit. And when we were out there with the bike ped guy, John Kaplan, again for the paving project, he agreed that that would make an excellent grant application through this bike ped program to straighten the sidewalk out there, create a green space, put curbing, and
Raise the
I mean, there's
sidewalk
really no
notch and-
sidewalk here, it's that paved area right up to the
yeah,
post
it's
office.
terrible
No, there's
condition.
sidewalk there.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
a-
paved.
No.
No, there's concrete.
No.
Sidewalk.
there was a concrete sidewalk.
It
In
did-
front of the post office?
Yep.
Yep.
Because I haven't gotten out of the car. I pulled in the parking lot and
Yeah, no, there is I think it's 4 foot. I don't think it's 5 there, but there is a concrete sidewalk
It's an
right
old
there.
one.
Yeah, it's an old one.
So what are the possibilities of getting this grant to come through in time to have this done
Before they pave.
before they pave? I mean, I don't wanna be doing it next
spring.
right ahead of the paving.
Right. I believe it's a fairly quick turnaround. The deadline is April 15th. I think we might know by the end of May. The question might be when we actually get a grant agreement. And we can't do anything until we get that document signed. But we can at least put things out to bid and get things lined up.
I think we're gonna go back on what I said before, and I think these two projects should be bid as one.
That's what I was
because
thinking.
it's the same.
It's for the same reason.
Well, I read the Du Bois and King letter here. If you guys look at that in your packet,
Catch basin.
and the last,
Just takes
first
away.
paragraph, the last line, I'll read the last 3 lines. And you know, this project will be bid as complete plans with Vigen's Class 1 project anticipated for 2020 construction. The project consists of cold planing, paving, leveling, resurfacing with a wear course, pavement markings, guardrail improvements, drainage improvements. This is for, so can we hold their feet? I mean, Valerie, I think you said, or Eric told me, or both of them told me that at first Du Bois said, oh, and King said, we can incorporate those on West Street or East Street. I'm not so thinking about, this is new here. I agree, we should probably get a grant for this. But I think West Street or East Street, we could hold their feet to the fire and said, you know, those are in. We want some improvement down there.
These are all in.
Not, well, we're moving some around, Picker. Let's move. We've been wanting to eliminate the one, but I want to talk about East Street. I think they said right here, drainage improvements.
Well, I don't think they were talking about new structures, but things like swales and
Yeah.
pitch and stuff like that.
So if we get our catch basins all in, they'll grade to them.
Right.
And topsoil and.
Because
I think we need to be clear on that. Do we need to, you know, obviously where we cross the pavement, we're gonna have to patch it.
Where you cross the driveway, yeah.
Where we cross driveways, but where.
If you're on East Street, if you're talking, right? Or you,
Both.
Yeah, no, my thing was, if I was gonna do West Street was, when I go from catch basins across with the culverts, I was gonna do half and then set it, compact it, put it all and pave it. And then the following day, do the other half. So I wouldn't have an open trench,
You wouldn't have a.
or not a trench,
Dirt.
but a dirt, yeah. It would be back paved because, you know, the volume of traffic and everything going through there.
I mean, I'd like to see the grant do both of them, but if it can't, because when we first started talking about West Street, it was, our crew was gonna do it. And now
Right,
it's,
because we were just gonna
change
do
it
the
too.
plug.
exactly.
Right.
And now it's grown, but can we,
Well, like I said before, we'll get credit when it comes to doing anything else. We'll get credit because we're already taking steps to do pre-treatment.
right, so,
Yeah.
okay, maybe we're jumping ahead here. So we all agree with this one, East, West Street. It's going up.
Does that include the pipe going up behind Houghton Hall?
I think, well, Eric and I talked at length about that too. That's something we could easily do, but the problem is we don't have the equipment to reseed that and everything. You know, we have the hydromulcher, but we don't have the equipment to rake it out. And I mean, if you have a contractor do it, they're here, they're gonna do.
They're gonna do that section, they're out of the road, they can do that.
Yeah, and they're not gonna be, you know, no offense, but they're not gonna be nearly the time that it would take us to go
No,
down through
yeah,
there.
you're right.
Because they know what they're gonna clean, how they're gonna clean up and everything, and it's all part of the process. But I think if we do bid this, we need to be specific about how long we can leave gravel.
Yes.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
You know, 24, 48 hours max, because I don't wanna get,
Back into what we were
Bruce
before.
got all muddy here down there directing traffic and fixing potholes for months. and
Well, yeah, you can't say we're gonna, you know, gonna take us a month to do it, and we're gonna pave at the end of the month. No, you're gonna pave within 24 hours, whether it's 10 feet or 25 feet.
Right.
Yeah,
And
because
if
it's
they-
all,
Even it's cold patch for now.
well, not cold
Not-
patch, it'll be
excuse
hot
me,
mix,
hot
but
mix.
it's, you know, it's not a big deal for them to get enough to.
We don't want West Street 2.0, right?
Well, and they don't have to go back through them. It's not like they're putting water line in and gotta go back through and put drainage in, so they don't. wanna
Right.
pave
Once
it.
the hole is closed, it's closed.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah.
But I would think, being it's the same style structures and the same style work, that we bid them together.
So
Because
which
you'll
one?
only be paying for mobilization once and.
Right. And the catch basins here, this part from here to here, I think the road actually comes back this way. I think we can just ditch that, or somebody can just ditch it and swale it. These I was gonna ditch and swale to each one also, but also run a culvert to each one, and then have it dump into here, and then come across the road and dump over where it goes now by Bingles.
So this culvert need to be replaced, or this is all new?
We've already done that, that's plastic pipe in there now.
So they need to tie in here.
There's
And
a
this-
there's a catch basin there now that ties in, that goes up to
You're talking what,
the
East Street now?
reservoir
Yeah.
road. That's where that one comes down behind Bingham's and all the way down through there. So I was gonna change that catch basin to the new style.
Is that what have you talked to the state to see if that's what they recommended here, or?
No, I did not. That was just my thought on what to do to eliminate the water, plus also to do the pre-treatment, so to speak, and besides, because that culvert that runs across the road that goes behind them houses eventually ends up in the river down there.
Yeah.
So that was my thought, but no, I didn't ask the state on that.
So you're not adding any new catch basins on East Street? You've got.
I'm adding one new one. The first one is gonna be a new one, and then the last two would be replacements,
Are we talking catch basins or dry wells?
catch basins. Well, the new style dry wells, I should say.
What's
Oh,
dry,
okay.
that's a dry well.
It's the one with
It's
the
that
holes
one
in
with
it.
all
Okay.
the,
Alright.
she sent out.
Okay.
I'm curious as to,
We're applying for that amount, right?
this one here, you don't think you could get it
Both of
into one?
these.
Them two that are into,
Right on the
Or
corner.
can they put, that 8-foot tile, can they put 2 covers in that? Or will it be too weak?
I don't know. I could ask them.
Because I mean, if you
honestly,
started out there with a dry well with 2, instead of 2 catch basins.
yep. Yeah,
I
them are existing ones there anyways.
You're just gonna tie into them?
No, I wasn't them.
You were gonna replace them?
No, I wasn't gonna touch them.
Oh, so you're just ditching from them to that first?
Right.
Oh, gotcha, okay.
All I'm doing is ditching between the sidewalk and the road because
So you're
that
only
road-
talking 3 structures here?
3 structures and then the pipe that goes in between them.
Yep.
There's no pipe coming from the intersection to the first structure. All of that is just gonna be a swale.
This water here goes in this pipe here?
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now, I was wondering why you were taking that water the other way, but you're not.
I didn't put the pipe going across the road right there.
Well, I figured you were putting these in and everything was going this way.
No.
That's where I was confused.
So,
So it's 3 new structures.
with no pipe in between them?
One new one and
Yeah, there
then
is a
2
pipe.
replacements. Because they're.
3 new structures.
3 new structures. This
pipe
one is
here,
already
pipe here,
here.
not
That
here.
Not from
already
here to
has a
here.
pipe that runs to
Okay.
this one
Okay.
now.
Right.
And
This
then
one
it
must
goes
drain
across the road along with the
road
pipe coming
already.
down from the reservoir road. So I was gonna replace these 2 and then add this one. Cause the height of it, the road right about here, it breaks and all this comes back this way. And then the rest of it goes that way.
So, Eric, so these 2 are in,
Yes, there already is
and
this.
they go across,
Yep, this one here comes across this way.
this one feeds into this one, okay. So you were just gonna line this,
Yep, just gonna swale this.
and then this one's new,
This is a new one.
and this one's new?
This is a replacement, and this is a replacement. This one's already there now. It's an older style catch basin that has a pipe that goes from here to this one.
Keep the old one.
And this one's the one
Is
by
this pipe big
Bingham's.
enough and
I would upsize them.
okay, upsize them,
Yeah.
okay.
I put it probably at 15s in between.
So,
And this is new, right?
No, this is already, this one here is, the culvert's already here.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yes.
now the
Yes.
$1 million question. Did you find out if this is engineered
What?
for the elevations and everything for the pipes?
He says, he asked me where to drill them. So, no.
So somebody's gotta give us our inverts.
Somebody's gotta give us an inverse of where to put everything, yes. That part hasn't come yet, cause we're not at the 30% mark yet for the designs.
Correct.
So we haven't got the inverts or the heights.
So are they gonna give us the inverts for these?
That's the plan, but we don't have those yet. And I
Okay,
don't, we
well,
don't, we don't
that's-
need
I
them for the
mean-
grant application.
Right, but we will need them. But they won't, will they give us that for this other one, or are we gonna have to do that on our own?
I think that one would be on our own, to be honest with you. And worst case scenario, if you wanted to, You wouldn't have to use the new ones. You could just use regular catch basins there if you want with the knockouts, and we could put the pipes in ourselves and just knock them out.
Oh,
where we
with the
need to
square
do.
knockout?
Yeah, with the square knockouts, we could just knock them out where we need to and put them in.
Good. Because this one here, this is our town crew doing that work, right?
Well, no,
On
this-
East Street.
This one
This
would be-
total here.
No, this is bidded out the same as
Because I didn't see any traffic control here versus,
Oh crap! No, you're absolutely right. I forgot that part.
and I know that was a good figure over here, about $6,000.
That's going to be about the same price.
Yep.
Actually, it'd be probably half of that. Because that was for 2 weeks, and this one I'm figuring we can do this in a week easy.
So this one would drain over to this one, or
No.
kind of halfway?
This
back
one
to-
here,
No.
it breaks
this-
about
this
here.
lined,
yep. So this part here would,
There's no
from about
line
here,
between those two.
would drain this.
right,
all
no,
this
it's
is
gonna be
s-
ditched, just a
swale.
swale, kind of going both ways?
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's what I
where
wanted
the
to know.
break is right about here, this part would this way, and this part would go towards that catch basin.
Okay.
It looked like it was all going that way.
I'm new at this architecture stuff.
You're done good.
Do we have an idea of what,
So, I did just,
amount?
I'm gonna clear.
Okay,
what
Michelle.
I- So then, what we're looking at is something you put together as your estimate of what it's gonna cost to do these two projects.
Right.
And when we let it out to bid, it's gonna come in double that.
Probably.
I think it's gonna come in 150.
Yep.
I ended up about 110, that's if I use the,
There's
Well,
always the,
I sat down with them and did the hours and the material and stuff for this year. So the culvert, and if you got prices on the catch basins and the material should all be
Should be relatively
should be
close.
pretty close. Obviously, if a contractor does it, well, we can do it supplying the,
Because we're gonna have to come up with 20% anyways,
Yeah.
in-house,
and
so.
we supply the gravel.
well, I would say we supply the culverts, we supply the catch basins and all that, so we don't end up paying.
So we're looking for just labor
30% markup
only.
on
We're
that.
looking for material and we're looking for just labor and machinery.
Right, and the other thing is that, you know, we'll buy that without tax, where
Right.
a contractor will have to.
Save that part and save the markup.
Yeah.
You know, we might pay a little bit more per hour doing that, but
So we're
Okay.
talking all of this, but ultimately, we need a motion for the grant, is that
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I'll make the motion. Lots of-
So motion from Michelle for apply for the grant. Is there a second?
Public Works
Second.
Department to apply for the grant. yeah.
Ted, Tasha, second.
with the knowledge that the final grant figure we'll figure that out between now and April 15th.
I think we, yeah,
Yeah.
somewhere about 150,
Right.
125, at minimum 125.
yeah.
On the
It's
subject,
109 right now, just by adding 3,000 into that West
Right.
East Street project.
Yep.
Yeah, but the East Street project isn't available for the grant.
sure it is.
Oh,
it is, yeah.
I thought you said it wasn't.
No, I said we were gonna bid him as one grant.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Bid them as one grant, but it's gonna be, so not be
But
bidded
Two
out.
projects.
Basically, you're
did
gonna,
it one project.
one
I
project,
mean, that functionally would be two projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
stages, two
Yeah.
stages.
Stages, good idea.
Good word. Okay. Okay, there's a motion and a second to apply, and Valerie and Eric will work on the numbers with Peaker's knowledge to come up with
On the subject of the grant summary document, the form that we're using says that the grant summary document is to be submitted to the select board with the grant application. I just want you to know that I view this form more as the authorization that
That was the
precedes,
intent.
that because we don't want to put the time and effort into putting an application together without the select board's approval to do so. So I view this as the initial
Right,
step, and then the application follows. So, and it would be nice to update this form too, to include at the bottom, the date that the select board approved it.
Okay.
So, just for future reference. So I have not made any changes
That's
to
good.
this.
That'd be a good piece of homework then.
Oh, it's a simple thing to do. I just
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to just share with you my perspective of how I think this form is used. That's how I've been using it.
I think, just so you know, the intent of this document, it was so that a department head didn't go and apply for a grant that we didn't know about.
Or it was committed to, like a match or something, or some other kind of, because some grant programs have some high consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
And that was the whole purpose for this document, because
sure.
we had a rec director that was applying for grants left and right, and
Yeah.
we didn't know about it. And we felt that we ought to know before they were applied for.
Especially if you had to commit money.
Good idea.
Yeah. Okay, there's a motion and a second to have Valerie here apply for the grant for the two projects and do them in stages.
2 phases.
2 stages.
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 Stage.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Great, thank you. Now, related to that, one, not sure if I made enough. I just, in anticipation of this, I updated the financial plan to
Oh, wait a minute.
include.
Is this the same thing?
Yeah, I added I took out the paving and ditching and I replaced it with the West Street and East Street projects.
Okay.
And just for ballpark figure, I threw in $100,000 for the V-Trans grant. So this is just a planning document, it's not a commitment. It doesn't bind the town in any way, so I think it's suitable for our purpose.
These 2 are identical.
Did you take 2?
And maybe you're supposed to pass one
No,
on.
actually, what's different is the paving and ditching. Now, I can update
amounts are the same.
right. So if you'd be more comfortable, I can increase the amount of the V-Trans
West Street and East Street. Here?
structures grant, because here I had it at $100,000, because I didn't have these numbers yet, and I didn't know where we were gonna go with that. So I can still update that if you wanna make it like 125 or 150.
I think it's gotta be somewhere between 125 and
Yeah.
150.
So why don't I up it to 150 and adjust the figure down below. Right now it says 116,220. I'll adjust that, and then before the end of the night, I'll reprint it and we can sign it.
Okay. Everybody understand that?
So you're changing the Vermont Trans paving grant to 150 above,
Right.
and doing the same on the West and East Street projects line.
Right.
Yep.
Right. Because the top and bottom figures need to match.
Okay.
Okay, so you'll have 50 here.
I'll make the numbers work out.
Well, if you had
So
50,000 each
we'll
one.
increase
Can't
the
add-
V-Trans grant to
Yeah, no, it's
150,
34,920 and 35 here.
and I'll make the numbers work out below.
Okay. Everybody get that? So, Eric, just to, okay, we're all set with the 2 projects. Did you want to go over any phases of the projects? Any other updated upcoming spring projects?
Other
not
than
that you got-
dealing-
Other than
dealing with
these?
other than dealing with the spring
Potholes,
thaw.
yeah, the potholes and everything. I guess my other question is, maybe it's to Valerie more, what do we have left, or where are we gonna pave Elder besides North Street this year? I know you and I talked a little bit of maybe Munsell Avenue.
Yep.
Getting pretty
I
bad.
still wanna do this fall, I still would like to do Lynn Hill, finish the ditching and the stoning and
Lynn Hill,
everything we
that's
need to do
here?
up there, yeah, on the Notch
On
Road.
the Notch Road, yeah.
I still would like to do that this fall.
Okay.
Is there enough money in the book, in the capital? Paving?
30,000 or 25,000.
More.
I don't know if that's enough.
Yeah, I think he came in there, I'd have to go back and look at my notes, but
Do you have anything left from last year?
Paving.
this, I mean, what I'm using now,
Yeah.
yeah, there's gonna be a little bit left out of this budget here.
Cause of,
I'm doing North
July
Street.
1, you'll have 125.
But that's what I was gonna say, didn't we put 125 in this year?
This year, but 100 last year.
Right.
But,
So
yeah, and he's using the 100 on North Street before July 1 at last year's budget. This is why.
Well, it's capital, so.
That's capital, so yeah, exactly.
Right.
But,
I think there's enough money in there, or after July 1st.
after July 1st.
There would be enough money to do the Notch Road.
Yeah.
And the plan for that one
and you
was,
think maybe Munsell too, or whatever street you think?
I'd have to write them, but yeah, Munsell was one of the ones that I was considering on paving.
But you and I talked about,
But there needs to be
Some
some
drainage there.
issues there.
you know, doing kind of like you're doing down West Street, tie about 3-4 of them across Peter. And
I know it works. That's what we did over the high school. We tied those three in front of the school. There was always water there, and tied those three together and put stone in between all of them.
and pipe in between them all.
Basically a drain in between all of them.
Yeah. And Eric and I talked about it. Put one up just about as you come out of Mountain, well, by the police department there, just below their road, you know, on the Munsell Avenue. Then down about where, just this side of Merrill's Knights, and then one across the road, headed towards West Street there, and tie them all three together and drain that street. Because that's what's breaking that pavement up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the water just got no place to go.
Yep. So, I mean, whether you did at least a paving or even.
Well, you don't want to pave it if you're thinking you're going to do drainage.
Right, no.
And just for your guys' thought or reference, is them new dry wells, if you do 8 foot round, 8 foot high, they're about $3,300 a pop. So if you
And
put
then-
3 of them over there, you're back up to 10 grand.
Yeah, you're gonna spend probably 30 over there just in drainage.
And where's the water?
What's that?
Where is the water on that street? Are you away from it?
It's coming off from that parking lot, you know.
No.
Water lines.
Oh, the water line?
That's thick water.
Water line's on that side
I
of the road.
honestly don't know.
Water line's on that side of the road.
I'd have to see where Cy would mark them.
I know it's on that side
I
of
don't
the
know
road.
where it is.
Because the hydrant's up just below police department's driveway. It's in the bushes there, and
But that doesn't mean the water's on that side.
No, it doesn't. Probably is, but it doesn't.
I would bet you it's right in that right-hand lane.
Well, if it's in the right-hand lane, it's all right.
Right.
If we can get off the shoulder enough, but you're talking a good size hole to put one of those 8 foot.
You can. They told me that you can offset them covers.
Yeah.
Too. You can move the inlets to one side.
Right, but we
rather than
only
having
have
them
so
center.
much right away.
Yes. Well, it's a narrow street, so we got extra. But yeah, you're right. We could go with a smaller one. You don't have to do 8 foot round. We could drop down to a 6 foot round and do it. And that would be would be a great improvement on what's there now.
Tie them together and put pipe between them and
Stone line them. And Eric was thinking about, we would stone it right up to make that stone all the way, not grass it over. Or do you want to do that?
The issue is that the reason for the catch basin is to get the sediment so it doesn't
collect.
Okay,
It doesn't
get
so
your
it doesn't end
stone.
up in your stone.
Okay, good point. Yep. You know more about that than I do, so yeah. Okay. Alrighty.
Anything up on Upper Notch and that area?
Project wise,
Did we ever get the
No.
culverts or the guardrails up there where? we
yeah,
talked about?
they're all in.
Okay, I haven't been up through there
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
last year.
The only other thing was Peter and I talked about the retaining wall.
Yeah, what happened with that? I mean, we went there and met again, and they were gonna come back, and
We
Redesign
basically
it.
actually said that we would have to reapply.
The thought that I had, if we can't get to it, is to go up there and clean that shelf off. And just let it keep sliding, keep cleaning the shelf off until it gets
Settles.
to the angle.
can we throw
it
some
wants
box
to.
alder seed up there?
I don't think we want
No.
trees
No?
on that bank. I mean,
Well,
the,
they'll
tree,
hold
the
it.
weight of the tree is gonna pull the bank. You know, the other option
too
is to
steep.
put
It's just-
it needs to be tapered back. It wasn't taken back far enough originally.
Right.
Can't you put some ground cover up there?
It won't grow.
No.
No. That's the issue.
Okay.
Jimmy guy goes by so fast it just blows the seed right off.
Slow down, Jay. Okay. Anything else, Eric, you wanna?
No, not that I can.
How are we, you two doing on a
What?
grader? You talked here early, last fall, that one thing was,
Yeah, the issue is we won't have enough money till next year's appropriation.
Right.
Not this July's appropriation, next July's.
Next, after next year.
2020.
2020.
For
So-
which?
a grader.
So I
Trying to
do
move it up a
have.
year, so it's not gonna be moved up a year, it's gonna be in the
Well,
schedule.
it's still moved up 1 year.
Oh.
Right now, it's,
I thought it was 212 and 20 anyway, replaced.
or maybe it is. Maybe it would be, no, I don't know. I have to go back and look. But anyways, I got the piece of metal. We found, a
Yeah,
place
that one I weren't worried so much about.
to fix the hole on the moldboard. We got that
What
taken
about
care
the
of.
antifreeze?
There's still got some pretty good oil leaks underneath it. He's got to dump in, if he goes grading for a week, 3-4 days in a row, it's usually he dumps in a gallon.
That's
Not extreme,
I'll tell you what,
but it's pretty oil soaked underneath.
yeah.
And then now we got an issue with the left front tire. There's every now and then you will get a little bit of oil on the inside of the rim. So I don't know if it's one of the pump is leaking or the gasket inside the hub.
So what was just so they're aware, what was the price of the one they gave you was
The
240?
the 622 was 244 after trade-in. They were going to give us 35 for ours for
The
trade-in.
price on the next size up
Was another 30. If I remember right, he said it was another 30 on top of that.
so you're like 280.
And we're
The
about,
one thing,
we're what, about 240 we have set aside for the equipment fund? Valerie?
I'd have to look.
we're well over 100,000 shy right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
Um,
And that doesn't include, well, that includes the wing. The only thing we were doing was we were keeping the same controls that we have in the grader now, what they call the antler rack, instead of going with a more, what's that word? Ergonomical.
yeah, the joystick.
The joysticks where you're sitting and your arms are resting and you're doing it this rather than always up here like this moving the controls. It's another 25 grand to add the joystick controls.
I think they can reach.
So just for
okay, I just keep us informed because, you know, if you tell Pigger that thing is using antifreeze and we pull the dipstick and there's more antifreeze in the oil pan than there is oil, I think we need to.
I mean,
Right, Peter? We don't wanna dump
We might
20,000.
be able to find, he might be able to find us something that's been out on rent, that's got a few hours on it, that'll sell us with a new warranty.
yeah,
That's
that's how
what
Sparks
we
Road
did
got.
with the,
That's
what
how we did with the loader.
did with the loader, and it saved us, what, 30 grand, so.
Wow.
It had 300 hours on it when we got it, and they put it back to a factory warranty. And
I think the board.
The other thing that I talked about with the salesman, and he said there's a couple of towns that are doing it. If you go to a 5-year replacement. It's a $400,000 machine, but with the municipal discount, when you trade it back in, you get the value of the machine. You don't get
Going out on the market,
You
not so
don't
much
you
municipal.
don't get what you. So with the discount, you typically can you can stay
ahead of the game.
and be running a new piece of equipment that's always under warranty.
Interesting.
It'd be interesting.
I know
Okay.
Bridport did it with a loader, and they figured they ran their loader for $2,000 a year. They traded every 5 years.
Okay. Anything else, Eric? You wanna?
This was something I was gonna bring up either under other business or my TA report, but now's a good time too, I think. At an upcoming meeting, Eric and I were planning to bring up the subject of winter sidewalk maintenance. We were targeting the next meeting, April 15th, but that's not gonna work out, so maybe the end of the month, the 29th. It's come up many, many times this past season about who's responsible for maintaining Main Street, what level of effort should the town be putting out on Main Street, all kinds of things. And I was also planning to put that in context of a broader winter maintenance policy for the select board to consider. A broader policy that addresses things like priorities for plow routes, priorities for sidewalk plowing, all kinds of things. Policies on mailboxes that get smashed, include all that, spell it all out in a winter maintenance policy. So I just wanted to give you a heads up
Okay.
that that's
We'll be
on the horizon.
expecting that down
Yeah,
there.
at the very least, the immediate focus has been on the Main Street sidewalks and
Yeah.
how best to manage people's expectations, the resources of the town, and just lay it out, spell it out, and so everybody's on the same page going forward.
Yeah, before the lights and everything went in, they used to go down through with the pickup and plow the sidewalks, but you can't go down through there with the pickup anymore. So they angle and push
Push it
snow.
all towards the street.
I plowed
Or
just-
Or
plowed
I
for
guess some of it
years.
also goes up against the buildings,
Yeah.
and that creates a different
Well,
problem.
with the V-plow now, but Pico was talking before the lights were in, they used to do it with a pickup. So your pickup plow would be all angled, it would push all the snow
Right.
towards the street.
Right.
But now we can't get through there with a pickup or anything like that anymore, and the plow, well, the V-plow, so it splits it.
Right, right.
I do agree with you, Valerie. I mean, Ted has commented more than once on this board since he's been here about the sidewalks, and we do need to do a better effort on sidewalks.
Well, that's a
for
question.
plow. But I think
Yeah.
half of that is not just Main Street, but half of that is we're making a huge improvement on our quality of our sidewalks. You got to lift the quality up to clean the snow off them. If it's all broke up and it dipping and diving, it's awful hard to clean the snow.
It's in a hole where
It's in a hole where the water sits.
Right.
That's all in a nutshell. We're doing that. I think the board has made a commitment where we raised it from $15,000 a year to $35,000 a year. We're doing a lot more sidewalk repair to get them lifted up. You'll see the new ones. They're cleaning up really
Oh, yeah,
nice.
they clean nice.
Yeah.
And
Great.
so, but yeah, I think some of them, and Main Street, not just Main Street, but
Right.
a lot of them we need to do a better job. And I'm wondering if it ain't time, I'm not saying to get rid of the Kubota, but maybe we've had a V-plow on that since I was a kid. We used to plow here because it was the easiest way to get down through the middle of, and the snow would go each way. But I know one in Middlebury, it's like new plows now. It V's, or then they go by the bank, they turn it this way and put it all that way. When they go down to Main Street, when they're coming down doing a regular street on Seymour Street, it's in a V.
Don't they also have a snow blower on theirs?
We have a snowblower for ours.
We have a snowblower.
But, I think maybe it's time to at least express an interest, a small V that would go to a right angle when you're going down, and it would turn that snow away from the buildings. And I know they make them.
Yeah, we do, and we actually looked them up online there, and they're running about $4 to $5 grand
Yeah.
for a new one.
For new one.
For a new plow.
For a new
For a new
plow.
plow for
And
front.
it'll fit the Kubota?
No, you gotta buy $100,000
That's it.
vehicle.
Yeah.
That's where I was going.
I don't think
There would have to be some
Middlebury's got
retrofit.
two of those. One of those
And
articulating ones, and they
they
got a
do-
Kubota like ours.
They do
It's
push
with a V.
wider than what ours is right now. So ours right now, the cutting edge is set up for a 4-foot sidewalk, but the wings are actually 5 foot. So you got a gap. When the 4-foot ends, you got a gap like this, and then the wings come up through. So the new V plows are, I think, folded back. They're running 5 foot. Most of them are. So we'd be carving up some serious lawns.
Well, you already
Oh,
do.
like the last,
Centered
the
on
last
centered on the sidewalk.
That's if you know where the center of the sidewalk.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah. I mean, that storm that we had last,
That's the new plow guy.
That's that new plow.
But it's hard to see when you got a flat surface.
Sure.
And sidewalks in here somewhere, and
I can feel it.
then tractor starts bogging down.
Yeah. So
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
I think that's somewhere we
We
could
did
at least
look into it already.
a small V that would go from a V to an angle
That would
to a
be-
scoop.
That would be nice to get one of them.
Yeah.
It would be really
So-
good. Yeah.
Because like I said, that V plow's probably been put on about the fifth tractor over there. I remember having the village had that thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Future discussion.
Future discussion. Okay. Any more else, Eric? I guess that's enough.
Get while you're going there.
Kept him here for 45 minutes.
Well,
You can get up and leave anytime.
Be a 5-minute
We don't get
thing.
him very often.
Yeah, you didn't have the timer.
Remember Brian wanted the department heads here once a month?
That's too much.
No, on a rotation, remember?
Oh.
Twice a year? Brian, when he wanted.
Alrighty, guys. Thank you.
Well, if he came once a month, it wouldn't take so long.
Well,
No.
Thank you.
Thanks.
have a good night.
Good night.
Okay, we have our 8:30's been here, so come right on up. Now, Meredith and Taylor. All right? Taylor Welch.
Taylor's resume is in your blue section.
You want to start, Meredith, or you?
Well, this is Taylor. We've asked her to be the hub director, and she lives right in Bristol, which is going to be a big plus as well. So we're excited about that. So don't be nervous with these guys.
Yeah, we all bite.
Yeah, the select board recently clarified its desire to have candidates come and meet the board, and also the select board is the ultimate authority to make decisions on hiring. So that's
And
another-
firing.
Well, I wasn't gonna say
And
that.
appointing.
You can do that.
So that's another reason for tonight.
So you're currently in Bristol?
Yes, no, we currently are. We purchased the, in August, we closed in 54 West, so the big red duplex beside Thad's. My partner and I did.
Oh, okay. Madeline Davis's old place.
Yes, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Okay. I wonder who was there. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in a nutshell, why do you want to be the hub director and put up with kids, I guess?
So I currently do. I currently work with kids. I currently work at the Howard Center as a behavioral interventionist with kids. I work with kids with complex trauma, and I love working with kids, and I love being able to be a mentor towards kids. And I'm very enthusiastic about working in the town that I live in. I grew up in a small town in New Hampshire, and I was really enthusiastic about working within the town while I was there. So once we moved to Bristol, and actually before we moved to Bristol, I found out there was a teen center. I was like, wow, that is literally my dream to run a teen center one day. I dreamt at different points about starting one, so it was really cool. And I feel really enthusiastic about being able to work with the community here and try to help contribute to the town.
So will you be giving up your job at the Howard Center, or will you?
I will, yeah.
The commute will be a lot less.
It will be a lot less. Yeah, I've had to do many oil changes on my car.
Oh my goodness.
Now you just wear your sneakers out.
Yeah.
So when would you be able to start?
2 weeks.
So the 15th?
Yes.
Any more questions for Taylor?
No, I think since she's had a thorough interview already and they're making this recommendation, I'll move that we offer her the position.
Second. There's a motion and a second to offer Taylor Welch the position of Teen Center Director. Any more comments? Hearing none? Oh,
And
Mallory?
in executive session, we can discuss the particulars.
Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
See how painless that was?
It's the next visit.
I'm ready.
Thanks, Meredith.
Did you guys have any questions about the American? No?
No.
That's it.
Okay, continue appointment or reappointment of town officials. You have that in your packet?
Can we just make a motion that we reappoint all those people who said yes
That's the
since the
first one.
last time?
I thought that I was ex officio to that committee, so I didn't respond.
Can you put me?
Select board members are put on each committee, and it's not like it's not like,
I don't know that we're on each committee, but
there's,
certain committees.
yeah, there's,
Gotta find my thing here.
So Michelle, you moved to reappoint?
To reappoint
All the ones who
those
said
all the
yes.
ones who said
Yeah.
yes since the last time.
And did we get seconded?
Ted, I believe.
Ted.
There it goes.
Now, I recalled that last year, the select board also reappointed folks that didn't respond, and that the burden would be on them to resign if they actually didn't.
There you go. I think that works.
That's an option.
I thought doing it that way really stunk.
Well, that's an option.
why, what committee did you get stuck on?
A lot.
Well, you should have responded.
Horrible. Never even asked. I was just reappointed.
I did.
And
You
so
weren't
I-
you here?
So I quit.
I did reach out to one today at work, and when we say have not heard back, she said I hadn't got an email from anybody about replying.
Well,
Because I was actually in registering the dog last week, and no one said anything to me. So, but yeah, Amy, and actually Amy asked if she could take a little break for right now.
Which one is Amy?
Amy Pricey,
Revolving loan fund.
revolving loan fund.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But she said I never got notice to. I didn't
I
even
guess
know
I
it was
don't
up.
have her email address.
Right. So
And I asked Sharon to contact by phone all those that I didn't have an
Okay.
email address for, and I asked her last week if she'd heard back from anybody, and she hadn't.
So we'll wait and see what she gets.
okay,
So did you put me in the X there?
we'll put your slide you over there, Peter, and equipment.
You're getting
Super.
it.
How about Bill? Did he?
Bill Sayre did. He got
did?
it,
You
yes.
slid him over?
He's a yes.
That would be too bad to lose Amy. She's really good.
Yep. She just said right now with work and
Yeah.
new kid and new girl. So she really liked what she was doing. But she needs. But I wanted her to. I said respond. Then I did send to her the end of the day today. I sent her Valerie's email, so
Oh,
she's
good.
going to respond to Valerie.
Oh, good,
She
good.
may change her mind.
And I'll get her
She's-
email address.
Yes.
Do you have a question, Joel?
Yeah.
I can reach out to John McCormick since he's on the Energy Committee about the Design Review Commission. If you haven't heard from him.
Okay.
Energy committee. Where's that?
And
No.
I'm in
Design
touch with
review.
Ron Kowalski. He's out in California right now.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why he's
So I'll
the
ask him.
alternate.
Now,
Yeah. Well, no, he's here for half a year.
Okay.
all right.
Was Bill interested in regional planning as well?
Yes.
Yeah.
So loan fund, regional planning, and equipment. No, so you're on equipment committee. Okay, so here's just those two.
So we just need to hear. We've got David Sharp and Green Up Day Coordinator David Rosen. We should have asked David last week. He was here 2 weeks ago.
Dave's done the green up for, I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's actually Green Up Day Coordinator is Carolyn Dash. She's on the
Oh,
Conservation Commission, and that's it was passed to her. She's done it. She did it last year, and she'll do it this year.
okay,
I
that's good
think
to know.
we have left that to the Conservation Commission. I think
That's
we-
right. It
yeah,
was-
we
you're absolutely right,
I think we
Peter.
eliminated that and left it to the Conservation.
We put up Green Up Day Coordinator Conservation Commission. You should say.
Okay. Sounds good.
I'm going to draw an arrow down here like that.
What's the Energy Coordinator?
It's a statutory position.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can it just be passed to the Energy Committee, similar to the Green Up Day? Because Brendan was I think his name was there because he was the
Right.
chair of the Energy Committee a number of years ago.
Where are you seeing? What are you seeing?
Energy
Energy
coordinator.
coordinator.
Right above you, Joel.
Right above fence viewer.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I want to know what that
Is there a job description from the state?
There is, actually, yeah.
Let's see what the job description
Yeah.
is and then we can make a decision.
Okay.
Have we heard from the health officer? Does she want to do that, Ted? Do you know? Diane.
No. I owe her a visit, so I can
Yep.
find
I
that.
saw her. I was on the police advisory last time, but I guess, or no, that's a police. Ted's police advisory commission, right? Or that's
Yeah.
different.
Huh? No, I'm ex officio.
Right.
Am I?
I don't think
No.
there are no terms up this year.
No.
Okay.
That's a placeholder.
Oh, okay, just a placeholder. Okay, that's why it's blank.
Good?
So a motion was made and seconded?
To move all these people over. Okay? Any more? Hearing none? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And if you think of any adjustments you'd like or suggest to the ad that was posted for these positions, feel free to pass that along.
Okay. Alrighty, okay.
Do we have just 2 vacancies on the planning commission now?
No, 4.
We have 4.
4. Yeah, that's rough.
I saw that.
Out of
9.
Well, on here we have 3, but is there?
But
another?
one's vacant anyway.
Yeah, but then there's 2 other ones. So it's 3.
Well, it says in that letter, you said 3-year ones and then 1 2-year term? Is that what you
There's 1
said?
planning commission seat for the remainder of a 3-year term and 3 planning commission seats for 3-year terms.
Yeah.
So who's,
Sue Kavanaugh's getting done. And it says there. They were scattered the first place.
I think it's 3. There's 3 there.
We haven't filled Gary Clark's yet.
that's the vacant one though, I think.
That's the big, he
Oh,
resigned.
okay, so you're right, it's 4.
So
Who's the
he's,
4th one?
but isn't Gary the vacant spot?
No, I
So
think,
one is vacant that expires in 2020, so that's not on this list.
Well, okay.
2
Right.
vacants.
So there's 2 vacants, one of them being Gary's. remainder of
Gary wasn't the
Gary's term.
vacant one. It says
I
Gary here.
said one being the remainder of Gary's.
No. I'm gonna let Susan, I mean, Valerie, go ahead and read it for.
Well, let's see, one is vacant for 2020, one is vacant for 2019, and Sue Kavanaugh and Ann Taylor
We're both
did
2019.
not want to.
Okay, so that's
that's
So the 2019 is that's the one, that's the second one.
So is Gary Clark not on, he resigned, is that correct?
No,
Yes, he did.
he did?
Yeah, resigned. Gary did. Yeah. So we, here, by my thing, we have 5 vacancies.
Oh.
Sue Kavanaugh, 2019. Ann Daler, 2019. Vacant, 2019. Then Bill Sayre, Katie, Bill Brown, Robert Rooker. And then the last 2, next to the last one, Gary Clark. And then the last one, it says vacant.
When did Gary Clark resign?
It was
Not that long ago we got a letter.
November, December? November, December?
Yeah, we got a
Tasha,
letter
could you
from
look
him
back
not
those
that long
minutes?
ago.
November, December, Gary Clark resigning. I thought it was November, December.
Huh.
But I forget the date. So,
Yikes.
So we don't even have a,
A quorum.
No, so there's only 4 because you're missing a member, Mark Gibson is not the planning commission.
Oh, so he took over, he must have taken over Gary Clark's.
Or a vacant spot.
Yeah. Thank
I think
you.
he was a vacant, Robert Rooker and Mark Gibson were both added at the same time.
So they're not in the
Good
book here.
point. Yeah,
They're on, it's on the website, but it's not in the book.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Good, good, good.
Okay. Okay, we'll try to kind of wrap that up by the 15th, I guess, maybe. We'll try. A goal. Okay.
Speaking of goals.
Number 5, review select board schedule, goals, priorities for 2019 and 20.
So again, this is just a tool to help us look ahead and try to establish priorities. If you look on the other side of this calendar, it's nice to reflect back on what was accomplished last year, take a glance at what we've got right now on our plates, and then the longer list of projects that are pending. And how do we want to prioritize our efforts and resources. Now, this, you don't have to make decisions tonight, but it's a good place to start.
I thought this was a great presentation.
So one of the things we talked about on our trip last year was the plowing of the private roads and.
Right, the class.
Does
So
that come
that's
under the class 4?
Class 4 road maintenance policies, correct.
Okay. So
Where
price,
is, where are you
That's in the
seeing?
pending, it's over on this side.
Pending project activity.
Oh, okay, I didn't flip it,
Class
sorry.
4.
Maintenance policy.
Yep,
Here we are.
yeah. And
Why
actually,
don't we pick a number? And
Prioritize.
we each prioritize. And then we'll put them in that order. If something gets 3 votes, that'll go to the top. If something gets 2, and then we'll pick a number of how many you wanna do.
on the pending projects list, I mentioned that the line is fuzzy between that and current projects. For example, we just discussed the West
West
Street
Street drain.
grant application, so that's gonna go over into current.
Right.
Town plan update, even though that hasn't completely gotten off the ground yet, that's pretty close to becoming a current project.
And the Northern Border Regional is started. I saw
Yeah,
you've had some stuff in here.
right, yeah.
So can we put
that's-
that over on
that-
current projects?
Yep.
So
Yep.
those first 2 we could slide over there.
I think
Right.
Howland Hall, we can slide over.
We sort of have there's a very preliminary draft of a scope of work to bid, but it hasn't been bid yet. The scope hasn't been finalized.
But it is a current
It's
project.
current,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, okay,
So the next, the third of the last one,
yep.
town plan update, is that being,
I'd put that under current.
how about subdivision regulations?
Good
Working on it?
Good question. In fact, hopefully in time for the next meeting, I'd like to have maybe 2 contracts from the Atchison County Regional Planning Commission for their assistance on the town plan update and subdivision regulations. We have a municipal planning grant to hire them for the town plan update, but we haven't executed that yet. So that'll be on the next or soon agenda.
That looks like enough.
Yep, we slid 4 over. At least 4. Okay.
So what do you wanna do? You still wanna pick like 5 and say, put them in priority order?
You'd like to see them get over to the current
Yeah.
at some day by the end of the,
I mean, at least then we got a sense of where we wanna head.
Right.
we didn't wanna, so everybody kind of pick 5 and see where,
Yeah.
we'll mesh them together.
Yep.
So at the next meeting?
Okay?
Yeah.
Everybody-
Homework. And then we'll look back at the calendar and see what kind of time frame we think is reasonable to set
Before
for
we-
expectations.
Do we have a sewer ordinance update on the grease trap fees?
It's on the list of things to do, but it hasn't been started.
Hasn't been started,
Right.
okay.
And one of the topics there that we will want to tackle is a fee structure. If we're going to implement a new fee structure to acknowledge grease trap maintenance.
Okay, now isn't, County Regional Planning working with, because I've seen them out surveying, or someone is, Stormwater Master Plan Implementation Project, isn't that started?
Actually, that's.
That's over here in pending, so should it
That
slide
should
over?
be, actually, that should be, thank you for catching it, that should be on the current projects list.
So that should
The
go over?
stormwater master plan.
So we'll have to put that as a 1 through 5 then?
Stormwater master plan should
So-
be under current.
So that should be current?
Why don't we
Yes.
go from the bottom up? Subdivision is current.
Well, I'm not sure,
Yeah,
that's a
I
fuzzy,
would,
That's
I
pending.
didn't,
I think
I'd
that's
say it's still
pending.
pending.
yeah.
Town plan.
Wait a minute, you missed one, I'll run
Yeah,
you
partial right away.
right away status. That's still not started yet, right?
Not really.
Townwide Police Department feasibility,
That's not even,
so,
I mean, we've discussed it, but that's not even in the
Yeah.
light.
Yeah,
yeah.
Neither is the police station feasibility study yet.
Right,
no,
town garage building
Yeah, we
improvement.
talked
were gonna
about
hire-
that one, but,
We were gonna hire somebody to
yeah, when
do
we
an
got-
RFP
Oh,
out,
the stormwater plan is on there. Okay.
town garage building improvement.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to move that forward.
Okay. Because the other 2 are slid over. Mountain Street sidewalk replacement bid and construction.
That'll happen though.
Where is that, Mountain Street?
That's your next, that's the
That's
next
the
one, right?
next one is from
Where?
Garfield to Spring
Oh, okay.
on the
Yeah,
the
Fred's
west
side.
side.
one that's way underwater.
Yeah.
So that one is,
It will happen, it hasn't gone out yet.
right, but it's a
should
current
be-
project.
Should be current.
Okay.
That would be
Well, we're
concurrent.
not gonna have anything to choose from.
Well, we'll get it down, we may get it down to 5, Pickard, I may get, or we get it down to 8, I'll say pick 1 through 8.
There you
Orchard Terrace water line extension and cash flow projections. Have we done anything?
Actually, I have. I did put some numbers together, but I'm about 3/4 of the way through.
You're 3/4 away through that?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah, it'd be current.
it's current.
Okay.
Read that part into it.
V-Trans bike
It's just been sidelined.
pedestrian grant application, design and construction plans for West Street South Side sidewalk upgrade from Champlain Farms to Maple Street.
That's what we were talking about, the new sidewalk in front of the post office and Highland
Yep.
Hall. And
Oh, so it would go all the way?
It could. It could.
I'd like to do something with, like moving that pole by the post office there, that,
Oh, yeah. That
You know,
whole area.
that, and put a curb there. I mean, it brought a conclusion to me the other day when we had that huge storm, and the guy who plows the Champlain Farms here, he put a roll of snow between the road and the pumps. You know, he pulled into the pumps
Yeah.
to get gas, and there was a roll of snow on the right side of the vehicle, like there was a curb there. And I thought, wonder if we could put a curb all the way down through, so, but,
Yeah, when Eric and I walked.
so we're gonna
that-
put V-Trans bike over or not?
No.
No. Selectmen's rules of procedure.
Yeah, that's something that I chatted about, I think with Peter, maybe it was with you, Joel, about just having a rules of procedure to outline protocols, quorums, voting, for example, does the chair vote or not, or at least putting it out there that yes, the chair votes. And if not expressly a negative vote, then it's deemed to be a yes vote kind of thing. And then also just policies about email communications, for example, guidelines on how to do that within
Okay.
the open meeting law.
Okay. So we'll leave that there where it is right
Yeah.
now. What's this CFSRF?
Clean Water State Revolving Loan Fund Planning Loan. That is not launched yet. What needs to happen next, and I was actually working on it today. That program requires that the engineer that's selected to do the planning study has to be hired through an RFQ process, request for qualifications, and it's a more cumbersome process than an RFP process.
Okay.
And
So that we'll leave that there.
Yeah.
Winter maintenance policy, you talked about
Yeah.
that, but we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
Class 4 road maintenance policy,
Yeah.
we'll leave it over there. Sewer upgrades, you said you haven't worked on that yet.
Class 4 maintenance policy is pretty simple. We don't do anything.
Yeah.
Well, yes, you do.
We
We
currently do,
maintain
we have to
several
discuss
class,
this.
plow several
This
class
is why
4
it's on there,
roads.
we have several that we do, including some private roads.
Plowing Class 4 roads?
Yes, and then essentially
And
private driveways.
driveways.
I know of one.
Yes.
So we just need to talk about it.
Right. You might not change anything, but you
I
should be
thought
talked
we
about.
had got all the Class 4 roads. I thought we had, okay.
Sewer ordinance update, we haven't done that one yet. Water ordinance update. Maybe those two could go together for our June, and have something
Yeah, there you go.
for our June meeting.
Yeah.
Police Department policy review, Fire Department policies review, Stony Hill, that's part of the northern border, you've done those next two up.
Yeah.
Those two are done on the
Yeah,
Current,
they're
yeah.
current.
First two.
Surprise, surprise.
13?
I see 14, but yeah.
14, yeah.
Yep.
I got one with circle, I didn't count.
Yep. So if we can narrow that down to 5.
Okay, Ian has a
Wow,
question.
5 that go to the top of the list.
5 that go to the top of the list. They don't come off the list, yes. Ian?
Do you want to add in the enhanced energy plan, or is that part of, because it's part of the planning commission, is that separate? Just so you are aware of that.
Is that part of the town plan though, or is that separate from the town plan?
Well, it's,
It's all part of the town plan,
yeah,
I would say.
but it is a unique section for the energy
So
aspect
maybe
of the
put
town.
town plan / enhanced.
Yeah, since the subdivision regulations that'll be part of the town plan too.
And that's also a good segue to the question, is there anything else that should be added to these lists? Anything missing?
You can always have what my wife has on her Joel's list. The very last thing, it says update list. And I go, yeah, she
No, I'm
always.
sure we'll come up with more as the
Yeah.
year moves on, but.
Yeah, this is, or they not find us.
Right.
Can I add one?
Yeah.
Sure.
Catch up on meeting minutes?
Mm-hmm, that's under current projects.
Okay.
We're making a stab at it. So.
Yeah,
Okay,
Moving on.
great, thanks. So this will be on the next
goals.
agenda.
Yep, okay. We did the V-Trans annual financial plan. Do you
Now,
want a motion
I think so, that would be handy.
on that? That's this right here, right?
Right, and I'll print out a final version for signature.
Okay.
So, approve as amended, or.
Do you want, guys, or why don't we, if you want, I can skip that if you want. Go to approve meeting minutes of March 18th and I go through.
Well, why don't we deal with that?
But just, do you want the right number or not? If you got the right number, then we have to say as amended.
All we gotta do is say it's amended, because
Yeah.
we just amended it, it just needs to change the
Okay.
total at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that as a motion, Peter.
Yes.
Okay, is there a second? Michelle? Michelle seconds it. Any questions? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
And that's the annual financial plan?
And
Correct.
dash Don Hogways.
Yeah,
Okay,
super.
you got the meeting minutes?
Yay.
I make a motion to approve the minutes
Second.
Motion
of
second.
March 18th, sorry.
March 18th, 2019.
2019.
Ted, you got something? No? Okay.
With corrections or no?
No, I haven't found
I
it.
don't see it.
Okay, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Payable warrants and liquor license? I haven't signed
There is
anything.
Only one, Jen reminded me today, I think it's the Stonecutters Brewery on the hours. Did we say nothing after 8 o'clock? Is that what we've kind of
Well,
stuck
that was
to?
for that was for.
This is for Pocock.
Pocock. Right, and I think we said they have to be done by 8.
Yeah, and on
They may have until 9 to clean up.
They
but
have to be done by 8, and the street has to be clear by 9.
Yeah, so it says till 9 on that particular one, so I don't know if it's.
They
We
could serve
change it
until
till
8.
8. Yeah.
So, sign here. Right, let me see, Peter, where it says.
It's on the front, that's the first one, Joel.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
9 to, want me to change it right here?
8.
Okay, 8 o'clock. Somebody want to make a motion to? Oh, wait a minute.
I move that we grant that, the change in time.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to grant liquor license to Stone Spirits, Stone Cutters Spirits with a change from 2 to 9 or 2 to 8. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Alrighty. Get some of these things to sign here.
Oh, no, the amount.
I haven't got that far yet. I haven't even signed it yet.
He hasn't signed it, so it's not official.
No.
There's 4 signatures on there though, so I can give you the amount.
Go ahead. Peter, give me. Okay, payables. Peter, you wanna give her that number?
153,713.85. And there is a question about a disbursement to the town of Bristol for $73,412.07.
And there's no documentation in there.
No, I couldn't find it. 73 what? 73 one.
You wanna give her that number again?
Second from the bottom.
Yeah.
$73,412.07.
I still think it's
Select-board pay. By the way.
you, Jimmy?
Okay, all those in favor of playing that with the explanation from the treasurer
Yes.
of that 73,412.07, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right.
No.
No, we don't have to, I'm sorry, we don't have to.
Yeah, we sign it.
Yeah. So, select board concerns, I'll start with Peter in the middle here.
I'm good.
Michelle?
I'm good.
Ted? Good. Peter?
The new sidewalk on Mountain Street, we were talking about sidewalks, has a low spot in it, and I sent Valerie a picture of the big puddle. And obviously it turns to ice when it's cold, and that's not acceptable for a brand new sidewalk, in my opinion. And you can see it, if you stand and look up through there, you can see where it scoops down, and the water just, it's about 6 sections of it up through. Where it just
From where to where?
It's on, it's a new section on Mountain Street between Spring and elementary school.
When was that?
But it's right in
2
front
years
of the
ago?
house.
Is that the one done 2 years ago?
No, it was done this past summer.
This past summer?
Yeah.
So was that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know what the follow-up is, if there's any kind of warranty on that, but it is a definite low spot.
So we call them
Just a
up.
couple of blocks there?
It's about 6
Six.
blocks.
Said
6 blocks?
That's 30 feet.
Yeah.
And I don't know that if you took those 6 blocks out and raised them, is it gonna correct it?
No,
Or is it gonna
no,
head
you'd
to?
have to start at the intersection, which is only 4 or 5 blocks away from this spot, so.
So you're talking almost 60
Anywhere of
feet?
cutting the soil back from, on the street side?
That may work if you cut the soil back on the. in the
Make,
right
grow
of
the
way.
grass below the sidewalk instead of
Yeah.
above the?
Is there a catch basin?
The
Across
catch
the road.
basin is where it used to, the catch basin is north of this low spot. That was actually just when we were walking yesterday, I think, the person that bought that was Chico's house, I believe.
Oh, Chico
The young
doesn't live there
man
anymore?
that bought it, and he
He
said,
doesn't live there
yeah.
anymore, Chico?
No, Chico lives up near the Canadian border.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So, I don't know what the follow-up is on that, but it's, it should be addressed in some way.
Okay.
And it might be something as simple as just
Grading.
grading.
Grading the road.
And I thought maybe at first, because the snowbanks on each side, he didn't have any place to go, but it's the only spot where that happened.
Okay.
The new sidewalk, it shouldn't.
Mary's house is that way.
Yeah, but that's not brand new.
Okay.
But it's also gusto based.
Anything else, Peter?
But that's
Anything
all.
else? All right. And just, you guys know I mentioned that footbridge down in Middlebury that's they're temporarily using that for the new tunnel project, you know, that wooden bridge, it's 42 feet long. I've asked
The
about,
one on Merchants Row?
no, the one on
Oh, I know, the one on Main Street,
yeah.
just below the
I've
post
asked
office?
about, I asked the state V-Trans about if they would like to, what they're gonna do with that when they're done with it for our project, maybe at Memorial Park.
Memorial Park.
So, and they said it's property of Kubricki's, and Kubricki knows we want it, would like it, so they're gonna let us know whether they said, they did say, Kubricki told me that you'd have to sign an agreement that you said you wouldn't hold us harmless if we gave it to you, and it collapsed. But I don't think it's gonna, but anyway, that's all I have.
Oh, yeah.
You can definitely see the low spot in that picture.
So, Valerie?
I don't really have anything to add to my report, except I do want to draw a little bit
not
of
good.
attention.
No.
Kind of overlaps with other business. That Northern Border Regional Commission letter of notification of an intent to apply for a grant. The deadline was Friday, so there wasn't time to bring it to the select board. And if you've read the thread of the emails, I didn't know that, or when I last had a conversation with the folks involved, we were aiming for next year, not this year. So, but apparently things have moved along much more quickly, and so I'm expecting that they'll be making a presentation at the next select board meeting about this project and the town's role. This has to do with Stony Hill and the building the business park. And this grant application would be for the infrastructure, the road, the underground
That's what I was
utilities,
kinda wanted
drainage,
to confirm that
which
that's
would
what it was for.
require the town to own the road. So that's something that the town would need to agree to do.
We had,
So I just wanted to give you a heads up about that.
We'd have to, well, I guess we'd have to talk that, we're talking about the whole road through the whole
business park.
The loop, right?
So the firehouse lane would become a longer firehouse lane.
yeah,
Or
but
drive.
that's all just the firehouse.
not the
lane, not any-
residential.
No, not the residential. So whatever the design is for the business park, if it's like a cul-de-sac kind of thing or a business
I
first.
think it was designed as a loop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So-
was. With a cul-de-sac at the end.
Yeah, so the
It's
town,
not a loop, if it's got a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
because the town would need to be the
Well, yeah,
applicant.
it leaves, it's a
Either a
loop.
loop or a cul-de-sac.
Use the same road as a loop. I'm sorry about
But
that.
one of the beauties of applying for this year would be that there's an additional grant source through the same organization that's providing about, I think, $1 million for forest products, types of applications to support forest products and job creation, and so it might be one-time money only this year, and we could apply in addition to that, so
Would
we'll know more about that at the
would-
next meeting.
that allow us to get money on the section of road that we need to build anyway? The sidewalk that
I
we're
thought that's
supposed
what
to
you're
build
grant-
in the section of road that,
Possibly.
because that's a pretty good chunk of change right there. The
Yeah.
sidewalk and the curb up through the,
There would be a match, so that could be part of our match. But I would like to think we can expand it as far as we can. Yeah.
because we're already on the hook for,
Right.
to the property line.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
And I would almost bet that if we put that road into the property line and we put the sidewalk in, we're gonna end up plowing, that's the other thing, we're gonna end up plowing that sidewalk.
Mhm. Right.
I personally think we should have them put the road to town specs and own it.
Well,
So we're not into,
that's what this grant would build the road.
We would
That's
require
right,
it.
yes.
Right.
Yeah.
so I mean, we did the same thing, they did it here 50 years ago when Devonall Lane and Middle Lane and Lower Middle Lane came in. That was just a hayfield, and trustees said put it to specs, and we'll take it over. So you aren't getting the thing like Broadview Estates where people come in and say,
Right.
why am I paying taxes and my road's down? Because it wasn't put into specs. I think, kind of like Exchange Street when the industrial park was built in Middlebury in the 70s. I think they,
So anyway, I just wanted to give you a heads up about that. And that's all I have.
okay. Michelle, you want to do, or other business correspondence reports, nothing? Anything?
That was it.
Alrighty. Executive session?
And I make a motion that we enter executive session for 1 BSA, section 313 regarding personal matters, contract negotiations, and attorney-client communications.
Second.
Second, motion a second, go into executive session, all those in favor? Aye. Aye, opposed? Okay, we are in.